Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone. And then boom,
with Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 917.
Basketball is back for our Sacramento Kings tonight. Let's hope so. Let's shoot the ball the right way tonight. It's going to be a special, very special Kings broadcast tonight. We'll have the G-Man as always, the high flyer, myself. But Chris will be in the well, I say in the building, in this building. Running the show. Doing his 1,000th game. I don't know.
I don't think I'm that close.
Well, let me see. You did almost a full couple of seasons, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess that's 80.
Including postseason. Oh, wait, we don't have to worry about that.
Why do I look at a camera over here that's not over here? But it will be good to have Chris running the show tonight as the Kings will be back in action to take on the Warriors.
Last game, I board upped a Kings player scored 60 points.
Chris, did the Kings win that game?
They did not.
Okay. At this point, I would take less points from a Kings player for a Kings win.
I'll allow it.
You'll allow it. Though, at that time, it was still pretty early in the year. I think we were mid-November. And watching Fox score 60 was pretty spectacular. And, oh, by the way, I believe that is going to show up a little bit later today when you asked for it. Maybe you didn't, but I'm saying that you did. We are going to have a Kings Rewind today. A look back at the first pre-All-Star break portion of the Kings schedule, the first 2/3 of the season.
Might be a part of that some might consider a little controversial.
This rewind?
Yeah.
Oh, are you edgy today?
I did something that made me happy.
Is it going to make me unhappy?
No.
Okay.
I think you'll go, oh.
I do not know what I know the script. I do not know the clips that are going in there. By the way, if you would like to sponsor Rewind, America's fastest growing hit, call Chris Rod. No. We would love to have you as a sponsor because Rewind deserves a sponsor. It's kind of like on TNT when EJ gets to his Nito stat of the night, sponsored by nobody. Rewind is sponsored by nobody, but we'd love to have you there. If you would be interested in sponsoring Rewind, come on down. Just come on down. We'd love to have you. Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud here on this Friday. We will take you all the way till 10 since it's Friday. That means we end with Friday Fun and Games. Alan Stiles will be in here with us a little bit later. We look forward to that. At 9 o'clock today, we will be talking with one of our Sacktown Sports Kings insiders, Brendan Nunez, and I believe the other one, is Frankie back? I got a text from Frankie.
I saw him yesterday.
You did see him?
Mm-hmm.
Frankie's back. Well, he won't be with us today, but hopefully next week. Back and returning.
I knew he is back because I just heard a yell down the hall. Where is he?
Is that Frankie?
Yeah.
And who was he looking for?
Me.
Oh, okay.
He found the show gift for.
Oh, yes. Yes. A
I
very
say the show gift even though I paid for it.
You did. You brought the boom, and it was perfect for Frankie and little Frankie.
We bring the boom. That's what we do.
Frankie and Baby Rizzler.
Yes, that's right. Baby Rizzler. Oh, my goodness. Good to have him back. But we are going to talk a lot today about the NBA and its return. Obviously, we had they returned yesterday, or 2 nights ago, excuse me, with the Lakers and the Hornets. Much more action last night, some things that impacted, and I would say that helped the Kings. We will discuss that today. We had some breaking news at the end of the show. That was a good one. I mean, not the news wasn't good, but Alan and I were here with a little crosstalk. You broke it with the breaking news banner. And then, man, the news for the Spurs and Victor Wembanyama. We will talk about the impact of that today. We also had our Kings' first practice back yesterday. A lot of people are like, why would they practice more? It's kind of the way the league works. You get that time off. Everybody kind of gathered, reconvened, had their practice yesterday, and they're back in action tonight. We'll get some practice reaction and what their expectations are for the final 27 games. And let's hope there's more. I mean, this really needs to be a season that ends with something more than just the 82 games. I want more than the play-in, that's for sure. If it ends up being a play-in that gets them to the playoffs, that's fine. But it needs to at least be in that window, but it can't end there either. This has been all too trying for too many years for so many fans. And yeah, it was great, absolutely great to break the playoff drought a couple years ago. But it didn't feel like that was going to be a one and done. And that was part of a little bit of the underlying thing for De'Aaron Fox. Didn't want this just to be a, nice story and then a team that's kind of just there and, flirting for playoff experience. They need to do more than that, and that's what they're going to try to do this year. So we're going to get into that. We will preview Kings and Warriors, really the importance of that for both teams tonight and how this will be a different looking matchup today because of Jimmy Butler. I thought the last time the Kings played the Warriors, they were awesome. The way they defended Steph Curry was great. Can they duplicate something like that tonight is something we will be discussing. So we got all of that today. I'm also excited on social media. I don't post that much, but I did post yesterday something for one of our sponsors, someone that an endorser for, and that's Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. They're absolutely incredible. I love them. They're great people. And today's a big day for me and for our house. We're getting the new doors. We're getting new garage doors. And there's little things in life that are pleasures. And for me, I'm pretty low maintenance, I would say. And for years, Chris, we have a detached garage. Whoever built the house years ago, our house is an old house, probably built I think it's in the late 40s, early 50s. And whenever we purchased it, which was now about 21 years ago, I think the previous owner must have been handy with the hands. He was a craftsman, is like I like to say, because I think they built a detached garage and like he had a wood shop out there. And, the amount of hours out there that I'm whittling and creating, building is
Chopping broccoli.
And I'm chopping broccoli. I'm building pianos. I'm making crafts for the neighbors. No, do you have that skill? Like my dad had that. And it's like, why did it skip me?
Well, my dad would kind of do stuff like that around the house.
Like tinker?
And when he would ask me to help and I wasn't doing exactly what he wanted me to say, he's like, all right, get out of here.
You're in the way.
Like
now.
Immediately.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. And then it got to the point of like, all right, I'm not even gonna bother.
Like I've always been fascinated by people that can, I'll fix that. And like, I always try, there's an attempt and I'm like, I can't do it. All right. Sometimes I figure it out. But if it's something like my dad could just, get some wood, construct it, boom, hammer, nail, saw, had all the tools and boom, he was great. He could do it. My older brother's got that a little bit. I just don't. I don't know why. But anyway, so we have this detached
older brother.
I know.
Wow.
And thank goodness, he's still with us, Chris. He's still with us.
He was part of the grant administration, right?
Yes, the first one. So this detached garage has 2 door, like it's 2 single car doors, and I have to literally go there. We have a lock on it, open the lock, unlock it, and lift, pull the handle, and raise the garage doors. It's not that big of a deal to me because I've done it ever since we had the garage. But it's weird, right? I mean, we do have buttons that you could push, and the garage door can roll up or lift up, and you can drive a car into it. Well, that's happening for us today. Finally, we're getting the new doors, and it's not because of them. It's really been because of my delay in getting stuff together out there. But I'm excited. That's an exciting time to see that. It's the little pleasures, and I posted that yesterday on social media, and some people were like, man, I haven't seen doors like that in forever. Well, that's what we got. Now we're getting the brand new ones today, and I'm really, really excited about them. And I do encourage anybody, if you are looking for anything like that, I know this is an extra advertisement for Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, but I'm really anxious for the final product, so we'll be posting that later today. And it's the little pleasures. It's like I have an older car. It's my wife's old car, and I still drive it. Basically, every light on the dashboard is on. Radio is out, and so the other day I was driving her newer car, and like I could use the phone through the car. I could listen to radio or my phone or whatever. It's like, wow. The little pleasures in life. See, I'm pretty easy. I'm pretty simple. I can tolerate not having all of the joyous things, but when then you get them, it's pretty nice. It's pretty nice.
Yeah, I got a new car in December, and it was just like, oh my God.
This is how they work. This is what they do. What's the best feature that it has that you're like, man, I was kind of missing that?
2.
Yeah.
The Bluetooth.
Yes, which is
connect to my phone.
Pretty great.
And like the sunglasses holder.
See?
I always forget my sunglasses.
Isn't it something as simple as that? It's like, do I need that? No, but I've got it though. You know what I'm going to put up there? My sunglasses. It's the little things in life. So it's going to be a good weekend. It's going to be a good day. We are going to have a fun show. We look forward to all of you being here. While you're here on the YouTube chat, thank you so much. Hit that thumbs up. MC is already getting everybody going there. Thank you, MC. And to all of you, reach out to us at 339-1140 on the text line. 1-800-920-1140 if you'd like to call in on the show. Let's have some fun. We're going to be here on this Friday, and we get it started with leading off next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring the Honda Civic, Honda Accord, and Honda CR-V. Honda Accord wins for a record 39th time. You can see and drive all the new 2025 award-winning models at Elk Grove Honda and see why Honda cars and trucks continue to impress the critics. We are Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A., member FDIC.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Let's do it. Leading off, the 3 top stories in the morning.
Huge news. This is very important.
Here's cut number 1.
Okay, cut number 1 coming your way in a moment, mainly because my computer went out. Now it's back up, so it's going to take a second here. So let's get you to cut number 1 as the Sacramento Kings season continues tonight.
Wiggins on top. Steal. Malik Monk. Pass intended for Schroeder. Monk with a 2-hand. Ripperoo. Kings tie the score at 107.
A ripperoo. We need some ripperoos tonight.
Doesn't that sound like some Australian slang you never heard of?
Yeah, but it's
so
okay.
I went out with my Sheila. She gave me the old ripperoo.
Ooh, sound like a good night for you. Yeah, Malik Monk.
Oh, I said ripperoo. Does that sound like a good night?
Oh, I mean, no, it sounds terrible. Describe it. The Kings and the Dubs. Yeah, Kings Warriors tonight. from G1C. And it is going to be lit. No, I don't know. No, Chris says no. It is going to be off the hook.
You're getting worse.
Off the chain. What could I say that would be acceptable?
Fun.
It's going to be, I'm spelling it with a PH. Fun. Nope, went too far. Gosh, stupid. It's going to be great. They do have that meter at the game where it's like loud, Kings playoff crowd, Lakers crowd, whatever.
I wish they would
Lit.
just they wouldn't even do that.
Flames.
No, I wish they would just have Fresh with one of those hats that they used to have where it goes, whoa.
That's what you want to truly measure the excitement. Whoa. It will be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. Good atmosphere as guaranteed, at least to begin with. We'll see how the Kings perform. Look, this is the kind of game to me that I think we had someone earlier, like tonight's the game that tells me a lot about tonight can change my view for the rest of the season. I'm not going to put everything on tonight, but tonight's the tone setter, right? They don't have a game this weekend. This is an isolated game on its own. You've had all the right time to prepare. Everybody's rested. There could be some rust, but there should be some maybe possibly for the Warriors as well. There's really tonight, if it ends up in a loss, this would be, I don't even know if I want to say any words acceptable, but I would like to see like a great performance and you go, man, the Warriors just got him, or Steph made that shot. That was the difference. Something like that. I don't want to use the word acceptable, but that's where you go. They got you. But if it's anything where you feel like the Kings played less than their best, they gave part of the game away, they didn't have it for whatever reason, though, that's going to be a tough one to take when we're back here on Monday. So let's not think that way. Let's think on the positive side. Let's think about this team playing to their ability, taking what they've done. Look, really for the large part since Doug did take over in late December, remember the first game he lost, so they go to 6 games below 500. There's still a game above 500, so they've played better under Doug Christie. I think there's been some elements of the new introduced players to this team in Zach LaVine, LaRavia, and Valanciunas that are going to help this team. So if they can kind of keep fine-tuning all of that with still getting the best of DeRozan and Malik and Sabonis and Keegan and Keon, so what they got, this is their crew, and I think Doug's giving them a good energy and good vibes. I said good energy and good vibes. Yeah, I meant to do it. And that kind of thing. I think if they have that tonight, that's their path. That's their roadway to find success and victories. And I'm telling you, this is an important game for both sides. And the schedule really gets difficult after the first 2 or 3 here out of the break. So Kings got to take advantage of that. Being at home tonight and Friday night, Warriors. I mean, this is a hot ticket tonight. It's going to be fun. And I'm really looking forward to it. All right, let's get to cut number 2.
Cut number 2.
Victor Wembanyama came back from the All-Star game this past weekend in San Francisco, and he was diagnosed with a form of a blood clot. It's called a deep vein thrombosis in his right shoulder, and he is out for the season. And the Spurs right now believe that this is an isolated condition, that there's one form of a blood clot in that right shoulder of his that will sideline him for the remainder of the season. The hope, obviously, is that there's no spread, that there's nothing more here, and that he's going to be ready to go for the offseason and for the 2025-2026 season. But he, of course, is in a tremendous season so far, and the Spurs had aspirations to contend for a playoff berth, a play-in tournament berth, but that has taken a backseat to this health issue, a health scare that has taken place here with Victor Wembanyama. And obviously we know Greg Popovich remains out indefinitely with a stroke that he had earlier in the season. And now the Spurs will continue on the remainder of the year without Victor Wembanyama, who has been diagnosed with a form of a blood clot in his right shoulder.
All right, so when we first heard about this yesterday, we kind of read about it, and a lot of those things generally occur more so in the legs, and they also happen to, a lot of times, inactive people that are older. So when you get someone that's young, extremely active, there's always concern. Look, if you get clots into different parts of the body, more central, the heart area. And that's obviously there's deadly situations, and those are very, very scary. Not that this isn't scary. There are different things that Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs can do. Blood thinners. Obviously, it's something they're going to monitor. You want to make sure everything is on the up and up and everything is going okay there for Victor Wembanyama. So I understand the thought process here. You're worried about the person first, then the career next. And, read a lot more about it yesterday. There's a lot of other athletes that have had this. Chris Bosh has had, he did have a couple different delays in his career, and ultimately it did stop his career near the end. I think it's Asur Thompson who's done fine. Serena Williams. There's other athletes that have been able to go through this. Brandon Ingram, monitor it, miss some time, and then continue on with their career. So that's the obvious hope for Victor Wembanyama for the San Antonio Spurs. In the short term, this is a team that I still think was threatening to be a top 10 team. They played their first Victor Wembanyama game last night. They did get the victory, but it's going to be really difficult. That's the franchise piece. We're going to kind of talk about this next, too, in our next segment, or a couple segments, and just the impact of this around the league as well, what this will mean, and even how it impacts the Kings and Domantas Sabonis. We'll explain that. But look, first and foremost, everything is about the person, the health, their own care and treatment going forward. I know he'll get the best of all of that with the San Antonio Spurs, but I think it was wise for them to, when they got this news, to react this way, and the remainder of this season is less important than Victor Wembanyama's overall health. So we wish him nothing but the best, and it will still have an impact in the league this year, but I don't know that I see the Spurs cracking that top 10, even though they did get a nice victory yesterday. Well, a victory that I said will impact the West and did help the Kings last night in the victory over the Suns. All right, we've got one final cut. Let's get to cut number 3.
Cut number 3.
The Cowboys are losing one of their best, as 7-time All-Pro guard Zach Martin is planning to retire at the age of 34 years old, according to our NFL Network insiders.
Yeah, so Zach Martin, one of the greats that the Cowboys have ever had. Offensive line always unheralded, underappreciated, but not Zach Martin. Terrific player. And it looks like, as you heard there, multi-time Pro Bowler. And at the age of 34, looks like he will call it a career. And, that's always the toughest thing for a professional athlete that's been doing something so well for so long, getting paid well, getting accolades, receiving that, but stepping away from the game, deciding when is not an easy thing to do. And this is something I remember learning years and years and years ago, and it's something that stuck with me. And so for Zach Martin, I think he's doing this portion the right way. A lot of times people will end a season, maybe have an emotional loss, likely, right? If it's an end of the regular season or a postseason. And that emotional loss is not the time to say, when a reporter talks to you about your future, say, I think that's it. Well, then a lot of times you get away, you get some time, you've been with your family and friends and loved ones, and then you go, you know what? I miss it. I want to play again. And then I'm coming back. Well, I think the right thing to do is finish your season, kind of go through that natural progression. And the Cowboys, obviously, missed the postseason. So Martin's had weeks and weeks now. And I think that's, I think what you've got to realize is then you think about it and you go, am I willing to put in all the work, all the stuff that you don't see, that people don't see, that you have to put in to be ready for a season? And if the answer is yes, you're ready to do it, and you can still do it at a high level, I would say keep playing. But if any of that, especially in football, is lost, and that desire to do what you have to do to get ready for a Sunday, and if you feel like you've kind of reached that, then call it. Call it after you've been given that time and you've thought about it. You've talked to those that matter in your life. That's, to me, the best way to do it when you're thinking about retiring, especially from the NFL. All right, when we come back. Yesterday, we shared a story about what some of the things Major League Baseball is doing in spring training. And yesterday, we had a spring training game with the automatic balls and strikes being called out there. We actually had a challenge in that. We'll kind of talk about some baseball notes around Major League Baseball. We'll attack that. We have more on the Victor Wembanyama scare. Last night in the NBA, all of it coming up before we really dive into the Kings and Warriors for tonight. It's all coming up right here on Sacktown Sports.
Never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Friday. Out the door to a cool start with some areas of patchy fog. As the fog fades, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and light winds this afternoon. Highs will peak in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Coach Christie here with the winning play for you. Shop Folsom Lake Kia right now for low payments and zero down deals with approved credit. Go see my friends and upgrade your ride today or shop FolsomLakeKia.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for my good friends over at Jiffy Lube, and they want to show some customer love this month with their February oil change deals you can find online today. Visit jiffylube.com and find a service center near you to see these sweetheart deals, get it, during the month of February. Here's what you do. Drive into savings at jiffylube.com today and let yourself save in the month of February. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Congratulations on taking the first step, lift, and run to a fitter you. Your next challenge? Keeping the momentum going. At InShape Fitness, we have everything you need to keep all those reps from getting repetitious. From more studio classes than you can kick up your heels at to our turf and functional areas. If InShape had a middle name, it would be there's more than one way to tone a muscle, which is a bit of a mouthful. So we usually leave that out when we introduce ourselves. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
On Wednesday, March 5th, Sacramento is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision. Two of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW returns to Sacramento for the first time in 2 years for the final two shows before AEW Revolution.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite and Collision from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Wednesday, March 5th. Tickets on sale now starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
There's a reason why more and more people are coming from all over to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Folsom, Elk Grove, Woodland, Roseville. And it's not just because they're centrally located next to Hagan Oaks Golf Course. It's because they make the car buying experience different than anywhere else. Yeah, of course they can get you a great price. That's the easy part. Where their general manager, Chuck Dean, and his team really make a difference is they don't believe you should have to sacrifice great customer service to get a great deal. Stomp on in today and see for yourself. That's Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. It's the place where a handshake still means something.
Cheer on the Sacramento Kings in the stretch run of the season. Now through February 21st, enjoy no fees on Kings tickets for all upcoming games, including matchups against the Warriors, Spurs, Cavaliers, and Celtics. That's right, no fees, just savings. Catch the Beam Team with new addition, two-time All-Star Zach LaVine, and experience the thrill of Kings basketball at Golden One Center. Seats are going fast. Don't wait to get your tickets with no fees. Visit kings.com/no fees to grab your tickets today.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at PowerCopiers.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from my good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sacktown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Jason Ross, Christopher Law, lots of basketball to cover today. We will hit a few notes of baseball. Chris, right now you have I would say a beard, facial hair, right? Would you define yours and mine right now as, quote, well trimmed? I think yours looks better than mine right now. Mine, I want to clean mine up. I'm going to clean mine up today.
I like to trim it.
Yeah.
And then probably like 3 days after for a week. That's where I like it. Now, it would probably be smarter if I just was more maintenance on it and just kept it where I like it. But that's what I usually do.
Because the reason I bring it up is the New York Yankees have had a long-standing no facial hair policy, and I guess they're now loosening that up. And what they're calling it is they're going to allow well-groomed beards.
Like at this point, it doesn't even make any sense.
Because to me, it's easier to say, like, if it's the team policy, no facial hair, okay, I get it. I know what that means.
I used to work for this one company that they didn't allow facial hair. You had to. They allowed a mustache. That's the only thing that you could have, and like your sideburns could only be a certain length. Really? You had to be clean shaven. But then they're like, oh, they relaxed the rules on tattoos, so all these people had these huge giant sleeves of tattoos,
but no sideburns.
Yeah, and it's just like, what are you doing?
What are we doing? So, I mean, here's where, like,
and it wasn't like, I'm not comparing beards and tattoos together, but if you're one thing is like, oh, we need to look like clean cut men, we need to look like, you're saying like, okay, we're thinking
business will be better.
Yeah, we're thinking about the 50s, like type of thing.
Because, like, how would you define? I'm trying to think of. Oh, here's one that's identifiable to me, like Dallas Braden of the A's. To me, that's well groomed. Now it's bushy but it's like it's clean. It's his version of a. But does it mean like tight to the face? I mean, like that feels like now that's open for interpretation.
Yeah,
it's like, no, this is well groomed. I just cut it today. Did you? So it's always been a weird policy to me for the Yankees that they have that, but the fact that they're just released a statement that they're, loosening up the well-trimmed beards.
One of the weird ones is Manchester United. All of their shirts have to be tucked in.
Well, I mean, I guess is that not a soccer rule?
No.
Okay.
And they're like the only club that does that.
Gotcha. Like, because the NBA, they, referees will stop the game and make you like, I don't know.
Like how long the NBA jerseys are. Like.
Know. It's kind of uncomfortable.
You have to.
Yeah.
Like, I think you would look weird. Because, like, if you've seen, like, the soccer jerseys I wear, like, it's, like, right to the belt. Like,
right. It's basically, it's almost harder to tuck it in.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't give you want some room to work with a little bit here. So, yeah, interesting that the Yankees are doing that. Also, if you had a jersey and you'd been with a team for a while and let's say for lack of a better term, but probably the right term, a higher profile player came to your organization that wanted that number, are you selling your number?
Yeah.
You are?
Yeah.
What would you want?
What number do I have?
No, why does not the number not what number, but what would you want from the person? If they're taking your number, like the situation is going on in New York with the Mets. Juan Soto, the newest member, wanted number 22. I think it's Brett Baty, who's a third baseman, has it. And they worked out, Soto worked out a deal for him. Heard he wanted a new car, and he got him a new car.
I would have said, like, pay for my food for the rest of the time we're teammates.
Pay for your food.
Yeah.
Where
they take me to dinner every night.
Okay, to dinner. Because usually those guys get taken care of pretty well.
Yeah. But no, you have to take me out.
Like on the road?
Yes.
But he got I guess he always
with
wanted
all the sides I want.
all the sides.
Oh no,
all
he's gained like 30 pounds.
Yeah. He wanted a black on black leather SUV in an SUV, and he got one.
Who gets an SUV anymore?
What's that?
Who gets an SUV anymore?
What's wrong with an SUV? I love SUVs.
I didn't even know that like you can get them anymore.
Oh yeah. There's still things. There's still a deal. But I think it's, what do they say, 1/10 of 1% of Soto's yearly salary, which is just crazy. But still good for him.
But no matter if you ask him for $1 million, you're still getting.
It's like, I got it. I think this car was like $90,000 to $100,000 that he got him, like a Chevy Tahoe or something like that. So anyway, good for him. Get what you can out of him if you want. Also, more news regarding baseball. Looks like Aaron Boone has signed an extension to stay the Yankees manager through, I think, 2027, 2020. Hey. And then yesterday we were talking about the story where Major League Baseball is trying out automated balls and strikes. And what I didn't quite understand, the first challenge of that happened yesterday. So I think the umpires were still calling the balls and strikes, but maybe they're also being monitored. And so the pitcher actually challenged the call by the live umpire. And after review, he won the challenge. It was called a ball. He got the strike. And I think instead of a 1-1 count, it became 0-2. It went pretty quickly. I think that's always the important thing with review is as quickly as we can on the process. And I think once we have opened the door in all sports to reviews, one of my pet peeves, I've got to admit this one, Chris. So this will happen tonight. I guarantee it at the Kings game. There'll be a play, and it really could be for the Kings or the Warriors. And the amount of people that'll think it's controversial that will stand up and do the universal challenge. Like fans are doing that now all the time. I'm like, well, let's go through this, guys.
In soccer, we have our own.
Oh yeah, go to the review. But I mean, one, fans are doing it now all the time because the players do it a lot. Two, sometimes it's fans. Remember when they didn't win the challenge before? They're out of them. So you can. People are like, oh, and they're looking at the board, pointing to the board. Keep going, challenge. They're out of them. Or they may not have a timeout left, or they can't challenge. Certain things I wish we would have better awareness of whether or not you can challenge.
The thing I hate about instant replay is when it takes forever. And if it's taking that long, it's just like, okay, it's just got to stay the way it is.
Yeah,
like, I understand.
You can't tell, right?
Yeah, like if it's taking that much effort to see if you're wrong, like,
yeah,
what is the point? Why are we doing this?
Right. And
I specifically remember when they brought in that offsides technology to soccer.
Yeah.
And the first City was up like 3-0. They've got it in the bag. And then they scored another one. And then they did the offsides VAR thing. And like one of City's players, like toe was barely over the line. And I said to everybody, I'm like, this is going to be bad, guys. And everyone's like, because they're not winning 4-0. Get over yourself. And it's just like, they take these tiny little things, which the rule was never meant to be for.
Right.
to overchange something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like when you get it to review and slow-mo and replay and the screen frame by frame, that's different than what we're all watching live. I mean, it's tough to do, but
like if you see like a hard foul and it's like, oh, that was a flagrant, and then it's just like, dude, they were just both running fast.
Yeah, and you can't avoid it. Like that's the thing, like with helmet on helmet or targeting, sometimes you're like, you realize when you're slowing it down and then you see someone's head go down and they lead with the crown, you're like, yeah, but that was all done in like a fraction of a second while someone was in midair. Like you can't change your trajectory or, your flight pattern. My goodness. But we'll see. We'll see where this goes for baseball. I think so far, I guess so good on some of those balls to strike reviews. But we'll see. I'm anxious to see if they ultimately take that to the major league in regular season games for as far as the automated balls and strikes. All right, we'll take the break here. When we come back, I want to get more into the Victor Wembanyama scare of yesterday. I hope that's all it is, but there's some real concern, and there should be, about his future, about the overall future, and also what this does for the league and even the Sacramento Kings. We'll explain when we come back on Sacktown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey there, Jason Ross here to tell you about my guy, Jonathan Gonzalez in downtown Sacramento. He's an attorney here in our area, has been here for a long time, and been very effective for a long time. In fact, he has resulted in his work has resulted in life-changing results for thousands of clients, and you could be one too. All you have to do is call him at 916-304-9187 or go to sacklegaldefense.com and find out all the different ways he can help you. A lot of you might have questions out there whether or not you need representation. Well, call, find out. What are your issues? What are the things you think you might need some help with, or just some questions to know what to do? Maybe you wouldn't know what to do in a sexual harassment case, an auto accident if you need some help, a wrongful termination case, criminal defense, whatever it may be. And what he really specializes in are expungements, something that happened in your past, something you'd like removed from your record to help you kind of get back on track and keep you doing the things that you'd like to be doing that's been holding you back. So all these things are out there. He's here to help. He's in our community. He is local. He's downtown. And again, has great track record and great results from the past. So check it out. Jonathan Gonzalez and his law team right there in downtown Sacramento, 916-304-9187 or go to sacklegaldefense.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
It's Friday, folks, and perfect weather for a classic Palisades weekend.
Dial in your gear and fire up your Toyota because it's rippable out here. I'm Johnny Mosley with your Friday Toyota Tahoe report.
Thanks, Johnny. Get ready for a fun sunny day with highs reaching 47 degrees. Tonight, expect partially cloudy skies in the low 30s, and tomorrow it'll be a bit warmer with a high near 52. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with the California Army National Guard. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
A good, solid win here in Austin for the San Antonio Spurs. De'Aaron Fox leading the way with a big fourth quarter. 11 points in the fourth quarter, 26 points, 9 rebounds, and 7 assists tonight for De'Aaron Fox as he leads the Spurs to the victory over the Phoenix Suns. The final score from Austin, San Antonio 120, Phoenix 109.
Well, that was the game last night for the Spurs on the day that they found out the news about Victor Wembanyama and the health scare, the concern, as Victor Wembanyama is now going to be shut down for the remainder of the season. And obviously that was very troublesome news yesterday that came out about Wembanyama as he is being shut down for the season with a blood clot in his shoulder. And, you know, the Spurs are going to be optimistic. They're obviously going to follow this for a while here, but he is allegedly, they think, going to be good to go for the start of next season. But, you know, this is something now that becomes, as an organization, every single thing they are doing is built around this one player, as it should be. Victor Wembanyama is that unique of a talent, that special of a frame and size and skill, age. It's all of the things that an organization, a franchise would dream of, right? And at just 21, you know, his age, his overall health, those things are on his side. But look, Victor Wembanyama is also not the first athlete to go through this. Some have had their careers go on just fine. Others have not had the same kind of success and results. And also, just in the history of the league, it's not foolproof, but I would say more of the career type situations have happened to the athletes that have just been of abnormal size. They're all already a little abnormal, but when you're talking about a 6'6" player, 6'8" versus, you know, 7+, and his overall frame, that may not all be related entirely to this. I don't know that it is, but there have been concerns for, you know, guys that have been that big that careers have been cut short. And so, one, you worry first and foremost, obviously, about Victor Wembanyama, the person. That's priority number one. Everything else I'm probably going to say after that is becoming less and less important, but it's a byproduct of him being shut down. Again, I think that's the right move. Gather more information, do more tests, more studies, and figure out the plan of action. It doesn't have to be all resolved today. This is news is fresh. He played in the All-Star game, was scheduled to play the rest of the season, was scheduled to be a big part of, part of why I think De'Aaron Fox chose San Antonio, amongst many other reasons. But a big part of it is the organization they've been and what they can become again because of a guy like Victor Wembanyama. So we've said this before, Dave and I here on the show, that Victor Wembanyama might be the one player that you just can't trade for. Like you don't have enough as an organization to get him. Like, what could you do as an organization to get Victor Wembanyama? Well, for the Spurs, you won the lottery. That's how you got him. You picked the right time to win the lottery. They did it before. They've had very good fortune, and then they've run their organization beautifully for 25, 30 years. So I feel for Victor Wembanyama. I hope it's just a blip that we just go, man, remember early in his career when he had that health scare with the blood clot? And that's it. That was it. They shut him down. It was probably the right thing. They got more information. Everything is good. No other issues. And he had a long, productive, Hall of Fame, legendary, historically great career. That is the perfect scenario. I don't know that will be the scenario. I don't think anybody knows today. I think that's the desire. That's the goal. And so let's now leave that as the obvious statement, the wishing the best and hoping for the best results in return for him, the person. Now for the organization, who again is doing things, everything around that for him. I think this offseason, when you watch the Spurs now and they're playing Chris Paul, De'Aaron Fox, Castle, Vassell, Barnes. So, I mean, it's a smaller team. They're playing a lot of perimeter guys, and they'll figure out their way here. They'll still win some games. There'll be a challenge. But they're also going to do an offseason where they're trying to make everybody fit into Victor Wembanyama and clean up some of those guards and add maybe some more wings and front court help. So you can see how they're going to be a problem in the future. But I don't know that future is this season. Now, that win yesterday helped them in the standings. It hurt the hurt the Suns. Overall, that helped the Kings. But I just don't know that they're going to have enough. That's too valuable of a piece that's going to be missing for them going forward. Now, they're going to go for it. They're going to try without Victor Wembanyama, but I'd be surprised if they played at a clip. Look, they're still 5 below 500. They got a ways to go to get to that top 10. I just don't see them doing that. So that could remove a key team that would have been fighting for it, a top 10 spot in the West. So that's a factor. The other thing, as a byproduct of all of this, which is unfortunate and is maybe going to be something that the league looks into, but you heard people say it at the All-Star game, and others probably would echo the sentiment that Victor Wembanyama was well on his way. Easy win for Defensive Player of the Year. There's other candidates, but Victor Wembanyama was tracking to be Defensive Player of the Year. Well, with him being shut down, he cannot win Defensive Player of the Year because of the league rules that you have to play a minimum of 65 games. The reason they added that a couple years ago was to avoid, load management and people missing too many games. Try to keep your stars involved. So I don't know if the league will go back and revisit this, but that's just one of the awards that Victor Wembanyama cannot win. I mentioned it yesterday, another day in which the Sacramento Kings, another year, did not have an all-star, though Sabonis has played like one. Well, Domantas Sabonis is tracking to play way more than 65 games, which is the league minimum. Victor Wembanyama would have been an all-NBA front court player. He will now not be an all-NBA front court player. Joel Embiid usually lives in that group. He cannot make it. Giannis, I think, can only miss a couple more games. So now all of a sudden, the list of people that'll qualify to win all NBA is shrinking. And I think it's almost lining up as an easy one for Domantas Sabonis.
The one thing with the people saying like, oh, Victor should get the Defensive Player of the Year, even though he's missing, he's barely played over half the games.
Yeah, he just can't. He won't. I mean, he literally won't be eligible.
Yeah, but people have said like, oh, this is ridiculous and stuff like that. Well, he's not even reaching. It's not that he's not reaching that 65.
Right.
Like, he's not even reaching 50.
Yeah, I believe his number will end up being, let me see exactly. I think he was at
46.
46. So he played in 46 of he played in every game? Oh, no. They played more than that. Sorry. Yeah, he has played all 46 games he's played. He's had a tremendous year, but he had already missed a few games around that. I think the team has played 53 now. So he's missed 7 and obviously he's going to miss the rest. But like I said, as a byproduct of all this, this is all less stuff, less meaningful. It's all trivial stuff here. But this is really going to open up opportunities for other teams, one, in the race for the top 10 in the West, and for individuals to, one, win the Defensive Player of the Year award. That was assumed to go right to Victor Wembanyama. And those All-NBA spots. Not only Wembanyama, I mentioned Embiid, Giannis is on the bubble, and who knows who else misses. I mean, these are prestigious awards. These are things where players get bonuses and accolades and all those kind of things. But I think this all helps in a roundabout way the Kings in multiple ways. And not that, I'm rooting for it in this circumstance, but these are opportunities that are now presented to the Sacramento Kings. All right, for us, coming up, what we'll do when we return, it was a busy night of games in the NBA. The Kings are finally in action tonight, but we'll look back at some of the help they got last night in the NBA as the return to basketball is here. We'll start the 7 o'clock hour. 3 for Madness is coming up. We'll have some reaction from Kings practice as well. All that coming your way when we start the 7 o'clock hour next on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Hey, Jason Ross here to tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. I was talking about them a little bit earlier. Today is the day. It's a big day. They're going to be at the house here in a couple of hours installing our new doors from Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. So excited to have new garage doors. It's the simple things in life. I posted yesterday on social. I love our house. It's an old house. It's been there forever. We've had it for a long time, but I still have to manually open our garage door. I have to lift it to open it. It's fine. It's doable. It works, but we've progressed. We have a button that you can control and have a rolling door and move it up, and it's got brand new doors. It's going to look great, give great curb appeal, give our house a fresh update, and the power of automation. Hit a button and the garage door opens. So excited for that. And the Overhead Door Company can do that for your business, for your home. Really a lot of creative ideas too. Go to their showroom, check out the different things they have for you. But 70 plus years of business in our region is what they've done. 3 generations of family-owned company there, and just incredible people that do it right. And I'm so excited to see them over. Just friendly. I like to be around them. They're great people. So check out their website, ohdsac.com, or you can call them at 916-421-3747. I did kind of a pre-look at the garage doors the other day. I'll have a post, the pre and post. I'm so looking forward to the final result. The Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Welcome to TGL, presented by SoFi, golf's newest league, live on ESPN and ESPN Plus. It's 2 hours of hammer-dropping, overtime forcing, playoffs on the line golf, Tiger, Rory, and more of the best from the PGA Tour, split into 16. Learn more at TGLGolf.com. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Keep up, it's golf.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million plus products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them, the right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Take a seat in the lap of luxury. Earn entries daily with a qualifying hand on your favorite table games. Then join us every Thursday for a chance at luxury watches, bags, and more. It all leads to our grand finale drawing on February 28th, with your chance to drive off in a brand new Porsche Macan. Visit skyriver.com for details. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Must be 21 or older.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and Woodland. Chad, tell me what's going on for the President's Day sales events.
Something I didn't think I'd see for a long time. Right now, you can get 0% financing for 72 months on the luxurious 2024 Jeep Wagoneer S, the 2024 Grand Cherokee 4x8, or the 2024 Dodge Hornet.
I'm sorry, Chad. I thought you said 0% financing. I must have heard wrong. And what's the Jeep Wagoneer S?
Nope. 0% financing for 72 months. Everyone's excited about the all-new Jeep Wagoneer S because it's sporty, fun, and all-electric. Plus, you can't miss the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter with over 220 vehicles available and 40 starting under $20,000.
When was the last time you heard of 0% financing? You'd better hurry before they realize what they're doing. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
0% APR for 72 months on select vehicles for well-qualified buyers through Stellantis Finance. $13.89 per thousand borrowed, at least 5 available at each offer. See dealer for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Cheer on the Sacramento Kings in the stretch run of the season. Now through February 21st, enjoy no fees on Kings tickets for all upcoming games, including matchups against the Warriors, Spurs, Cavaliers, and Celtics. That's right, no fees, just savings. Catch the Beam Team with new addition, 2-time All-Star Zach LaVine, and experience the thrill of Kings basketball at Golden One Center. Seats are going fast. Don't wait to get your tickets with no fees. Visit kings.com/no fees to grab your tickets today.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
KHD 1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
Your flagship station for the Beam Team.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
All right, we begin the second hour here of this Friday show. Jason Ross, Christopher Lott, Carmichael Dave back with us on Monday. We were just talking about Victor Wembanyama and that health scare. Again, everything is more important about him and his health. We're rooting the best for him. But I was talking about the impact of, one, not having him the rest of this year for the Spurs, also what it will do for the rest of the league. Excuse me. And the smaller, less trivial, or less impactful news is obviously his chances now of winning the Defensive Player of the Year and some of the other awards that he would have been eligible for. Texter, a good point here. What would you change the game threshold to? I don't think 65 is crazy high amount. As far as Wemby goes, Defensive Player of the Year should be at the bottom of everyone's concern for him. Also, a player's significant health issue shouldn't be a reason for altering awards criteria. It's a rare occurrence. True. No, that's true. I think where the 65 games, I actually think that's a fair number. I really actually like that the league implemented this. I mean, part of the reason is to try to continue to get your players to play as many games as possible. That's the goal. You want to have your, as long as they can. If they're hurt, they're hurt. But I think there's an opportunity here to, though, like if Victor Wembanyama in this case played 63 games, if we have a situation where, you know, the Joker or SGA are the leading candidates for MVP, and if they ended up playing 63 or 64 and they're right there, that's the one that hasn't happened yet to my knowledge. But if it does, I think it'll open up that question, but it's what the league has done. It's the numbers they've set. I don't think it's an absurd. You could still miss 17 games? That's a lot. It's a lot to miss. So hopefully the best for Victor Wembanyama. As far as the Kings go, they're back tonight. I think last night, though, with the league returning to action with more of the bulk games that were scheduled to go, Kings had a pretty good night. There wasn't as many games of impact on the West, but there were a few. And if we look around the league, I'm less concerned with the Kings catching someone at the top. But, Memphis, when a Western team plays an Eastern team, you're obviously rooting for the Eastern team, I guess, if that's a team in the mix with a top 10 spot in the West. And last night that happened in the first game of the day, which was the Grizzlies and the Pacers. And the Grizzlies lost to Indiana. So Grizzlies pick up an L. They're still 36-19. They're in a whole other league here compared to where the Kings are, but that's okay. They took a loss yesterday. One that did help the Sacramento Kings in that East-West kind of setup was the Bucks playing at home against the Clippers. The Clippers are still an interesting team to me. The Kings, obviously, this year, remember last year they had the trouble with New Orleans and Houston. They went 0-9 against those two teams. Well, this year they're having trouble with LA. They got swept by the Lakers, and they've been swept so far by the Clippers. They're 0-6. And the Clippers, some nights I look at them and go, man, that team could be really pretty good. And then other nights I'm like, yeah, they're okay. They're just okay. Last night they lost to Milwaukee, so that was a good thing for the Kings. They were currently the 6th seed. They're now 31-24, so the Kings gained a half game on them. They did not gain on the Nuggets. Nuggets win. You would expect that. They do beat the Hornets, 129-115. The Lakers got back in the win column, beating the Blazers. Blazers had that real hot stretch, including beating the Kings right before the All-Star break. But, at 23-33, they're a nice story, but they're not a team to make the top 10, I don't think, this year. Lakers get back in the win column, played without Luka last night. LeBron went for 40, I think, last night. Yeah, 40 points, 8 boards, 11 turnovers. Man. But they're still kind of figuring out the Luka situation there with LA. But what a favorable schedule they've had. They've played, since they got Luka available, the Jazz twice, the Hornets, and they lost 2 of those games.
So Luka's just been killing it, right?
Not last night. And then the Blazers, which another team with a poor record, but Luka did not play. And then the last game, we kind of talked about this one earlier. I think this was the result Kings fans should have been rooting for last night. The Spurs were at home. It was fresh off the news of Victor Wembanyama. They're the further team back. I still think the Suns are dangerous when right, but I don't know that they're going to get right. They lost again, 120-109. Phoenix is now 26-29. I remember, let me look this up to confirm this. When the Kings first played the Suns this year, the Suns were 8-1. Kings beat them. Then the Suns played another game to win 9-2. Then the Kings played them again. Kings beat them 9-3. From that 8-1 start, they are 26-29. That team with that kind of record right now, they have lost 4 in a row and 7 of 8. Wrong time of year to do it. They continue on the road tomorrow in Chicago, Toronto, and Memphis before they come home for a 4-game homestand. So if we look at the big picture of what last night did around the NBA for the Sacramento Kings being off, and also this weekend, let's keep in mind, the Kings played a night, but they got an open weekend, which is really rare. I think the Kings even have another one coming up in like 2 weeks. So other teams are going to be playing. You can pick up a half game. You can lose a half game. But I think last night overall, if we go through kind of what happened in the league and lay it out for you, Denver with that win and Memphis's loss, Denver has now moved to the 2 seed. That to me becomes a little bit more problematic because I personally think the Kings are going to be in the 7, 8, 9, 10 range. That's my best guess right now. Not a crazy take, but that would be my best guess. So in that play-in route, I still think the better road is to try to be 7, 8 for multiple reasons. But if you can get into that where you get the 7 seed, you're playing the 2 seed, you're avoiding OKC. But it's a little different now because I was thinking the 2 seed was either going to be Memphis or Houston. Instead, now that Denver is number 2, I mean, look, if you're 7 or 8, you're in, but you're playing one of the league's best. And so right now that's Denver at 2. OKC is 1. Memphis drops to 3. Houston is still 4. Lakers are 5. Clippers, with that loss, maintain the 6th seed. But Minnesota now is just a half game back. Dallas is a game and a half back of that 6th spot. And your Sacramento Kings now 3 games back of the 6th seed. But tonight, it's the Kings and the Warriors. That one has a ton of importance for that 9-10 position, for the tiebreaker position that we've been bringing up, and just kind of kickstarting the last third of the season. They've played 55 games. There's 27 to go, and this team has already had that too many times this season where they've stubbed their toe. And we go, man, they got to make that game up. They've made a few of them up. They have. There's been a couple games where I'm like, I don't think they're going to win tonight, and they have, and they've won. But they need more of those. They need more of those situations. Tonight, to me, is a 50-50 shot. It really is. Actually, I haven't even looked. Chris, this is usually a game Dave plays. Let's. What's your guess on who's favored tonight and by how much?
I will say the Warriors by 1.5.
Warriors are favored and by 1.5. Well, you are correct on one of the parts. The Warriors are favored, and they are favored by 2.5. So Kings usually getting a few for being at home. Warriors favored. Maybe all that championship talk is giving them the love. I'm not sure the love they deserve, but giving them the love right now.
Did you happen to see that rumor with the Warriors, what they're planning on doing?
As far as what? Tonight?
For making trades? Like at the trade debt, remember when they were like, they're trying to get KD and they're trying to get.
Yeah.
Their plan was to make a big 3 with LeBron and KD and Steph Curry.
This past deadline.
Yes.
Well, LeBron had been mentioned to them. KD had been mentioned to them, but I didn't know how they were going to get LeBron. I mean, obviously Wiggins was going to be a piece they were going to have to move. And Sam brought this up yesterday. I thought it was really interesting. The Warriors went from, thinking this wasn't their year, not trying to mortgage their future, trying to keep their assets, to now getting Jimmy Butler and kind of extending him and signing him, thinking they've got another championship window. It's crazy. I don't know that they do, but I like that their players believe that, at least Draymond's saying it. I don't believe it, but it doesn't matter what I believe. As long as they think that, that's part of the battle. Now they got to go defend it and see if they can do it, starting with the Kings tonight. All right, when we come back, 3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness time. Let's do that next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Need a little home makeover to get through the last few weeks of winter? Kohl's is having a big sale so you can give your home a reset. Plus, Kohl's Rewards members save an extra 15% on so much to refresh your space, like stylish decor, cozy pillows, convenient storage, and so much more. So hurry to Kohl's to snag your savings before the secret's out. Select styles. Kohl's Rewards 15% off coupon valid through March 2nd. Must be a Kohl's Rewards member. Exclusions apply. Visit a store or Kohl's.com for details.
3 questions, 3 answers. It's 3 for Madness on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Here's question 1.
All right, 3 for Madness time again coming up at 9. Brendan Nunes, Sacktown Sports Kings insider, scheduled to join us. We still have we'll have some sound from practice as the Kings getting ready to take the court tonight for the Warriors, and we will have a Kings rewind today, a supersized one, I guess. It's maybe standard length, who knows, but a lot of the look at the first portion of the schedule, the first 2/3 of the season pre-All-Star Sacramento Kings. So
not our biggest one.
No, not officially. Still not there, but we will have that coming your way here at 8:00. But it is 3 for Madness time. 3 questions, 3 answers. Chris, question number 1.
With 27 games left, what record do the Kings need to play postseason games?
Are we counting playing as postseason?
Yes.
Okay. So to be in the play-in, 27 games left. I know we had someone say earlier they needed to be like 20-7, 21-6. I mean, that's just to think that they're going to do that when they've won 28 games out of 55, and now they're going to win 21 out of 20. I just don't think they're going to do that. I'm going to keep them at about the clip they've been. I don't think the number is going to be that high to be a 10 spot. So to be there, I think the Kings have to go 14-13.
That's doable.
That's doable. 14-13, I think, gets them in. Now, that's a play-in. That's probably the last spot. But that's in the spirit of the question. I think 14-13 would give them 42-40. And I think that would secure a top 10 position. Now, it might be 10 and having to win on the road twice just to secure a playoff spot. But that's my best guess right now. 42-40. So 14-13 the rest of the way. Question number 2.
Question 2.
With 27 games left, what record do the Kings need to skip the play-in and at least get 6th in the West?
All right, so 6 is a little bit more of a challenge. The Clippers live there right now at 31-24. I could see a top 6 seed getting around, let's pick a number around 47 wins, 46. So I'll go 46 wins. So now we're talking about the Kings going 18-9. How do you feel about that number, Chris? 18-9, can they do that? That's pretty tough.
If they play their best and try their hardest.
And really commit and pull for one another and think good thoughts. Yeah, I think 46 is my best guess around what the 6th seed will be that secures you a playoff spot. You don't have to worry about. I mean, okay, now let's talk ideally what I'd like to see happen to the Kings based on what I said earlier about the Thunder being 1 and Denver being 2. If Denver stays there, I think if we could draw a scenario that would be great for the Kings, it would be to somehow get to 6 somehow and play either Memphis or Houston. I think it's always one of those things, careful what you wish for, but would you rather play OKC? Would you rather play Denver? I wouldn't. I think their better chances of having any kind of success would be through Houston or Memphis. That's it. But I think to get there, to get to 6, I'm going to say they have to get to 18 wins and have a little luck too, a little help. All right, question number 3.
Question 3.
What do you think the Kings' record will be at the end of the season?
All right, well, I'm going to split the difference. I mean, I think they have to get 18 to get to 6. They have to get to about 42 wins, which is only 14 and 12, did I say? Or 14 and 13. They'll probably be a little bit better than that. 16 and 11. So if I go 16 and 11, 44 wins, probably around an 8 seed.
If you said the Kings are going to have 44 wins and Mike Brown was going to be out and Fox was going to be traded and there was a 7-game losing streak in the middle of all of that.
Somewhere in there, yeah. And a 7-game win streak. I know they had a 7-game win streak, maybe a six game losing streak.
Yeah.
Yeah, this whole season is a little bit hard to comprehend, to be honest. Like I said, we live it. We're so much closer. I was talking about this the other day when I went to visit some family in LA, and others like, "Hey, what's going on with the Kings? What's the latest?" And then you're trying to explain this season, and you're like, "Well, they're doing okay. They're okay, doing all right." But they did fire their coach. Wait, what happened? And their star player just got traded. Wait, what? And so that's a little bit hard to put together when you're not watching them on a regular basis.
Because I'm from LA, I only pay attention to basketball in the postseason.
That's right. I don't have to look at this now. Call me in April. Oh, did we just get Luka? Yeah. Okay. Whatever. Yeah, it's been a bizarre year, an eventful year, a bizarre year that I think we're going to have some fun looking back on, certainly when we get to Rewind here in about 45 minutes or so, or a little bit less than that. So, yeah, trying to understand that. And I'd be curious, on my numbers that I just threw out there on these questions. Let me see. We got a few people on the text line. 20-7, 18-9 is a play-in spot. I mean, playing 20-7 would be such above the clip that they've played. What's the clip they've played since Doug Christie has been here? That's probably the more telling number. When the Kings hired Doug, they were 13-18. So Doug has a record of 15-9. Okay. So over 24 games, Doug has done some nice things for this team. As obviously the Kings have been a part of that. Yeah, they're winning at about a 63% clip under Doug Christie. Right now, a 63% clip, if they did that for the season, would put them at the 4 seed. But they haven't done that for the season. They played at way below that under Mike Brown. And if you look at Doug's tenure, very short term here, and what he's been able to do, when he first started, the first game, remember, they lost to the Lakers. Then they had the win streak. Dallas, Philly, Memphis, Golden State, Miami, Boston, and Chicago. The losses since then, at Milwaukee, at Denver, at New York, at Philly was a bad one, at OKC, home to Orlando, at Portland, at New Orleans. Yeah, that New Orleans one just still sticks out.
But then there's also them destroying the Celtics in the middle of that.
Yeah, beating the Celtics, beating the Warriors, beating the Warriors twice, beating Memphis, Miami. Some good wins. Beating Minnesota in Minnesota. Beating Dallas in a buzzer beater by DeRozan. So you look at what they've got ahead. They've got more games against teams above 500. I think the home road split's pretty balanced. I mentioned yesterday you've got a 7-game homestand in mid-March, followed by a 6-game road trip. But that 7-game homestand, just as good as it is to be at home, Memphis, Cleveland, Chicago, Milwaukee, Boston, Oklahoma City, Portland. You have 3 of the best teams in the league on that homestand in OKC, Boston, and Cleveland, followed by Memphis, who just fell to the 3rd seed. So you got a 3rd seed, a 1 seed, another 3 seed, and Milwaukee's 4. Boston's 2, OKC is 1. That's tough. You still go to Cleveland as well. So you play the best team in the East twice. You still play Boston once. You play OKC, the best in the West, once. You still have the Knicks another time. Got the Clippers twice. Houston, Denver twice. Kings are going to earn it. It's going to be really, really difficult for them, but I still like their odds of being 7 through 10. I really do. I think that's the spot they're going to live in. I'll hope and wish for more and better, but they have not shown me consistently. They've had good stretches, right? That win streak was amazing. And I want to be fair to the process because we all get very critical when they lose a game and you go, man, they lost it. Like New Orleans, the last one was a terrible loss. They didn't have Zion. They didn't have Herb Jones. They didn't have a lot of guys. Should not have lost that game, but they did. So that's a really bad loss. Well, some of those wins that they've had, in fairness, remember some of those teams were missing some players. Like when they played Dallas, how many people were out? When they played the Warriors, how many people were out? Boston, they were fully healthy. That's a fantastic win. So you have that, though. That's going to happen. That's part of the schedule, and you have to utilize that and capitalize on it, and the Kings haven't always done that this year and in years in the past. So I want to see it. I want to see what they look like, and it all begins tonight. We're going to talk more about that coming up because the Sacramento Kings team, I mentioned this yesterday too with Sam, that it felt like to me, the construct of the team, even with some of the flaws that they had, still had this feeling of like we were kind of at the beginning of the process. I don't know if that's how you felt, but the first year that the Beam team with Herter and Fox and that whole group and Sabonis, Keegan and so forth, so on and so forth, a lot of new things were happening that year. They earned the 3 seed. They make the postseason. I mean, all of that was great, but it felt like that was step one. That was the beginning. You had your coach. You had kind of your core. There were some tweaks. You always want to tweak. And last year they didn't tweak as much, had a few more injuries, missed the postseason overall, got to the play-in. And then this year, the few more tweaks, and it was like you're still kind of still in the infancy of this plan. Now it feels like it's changed a bit, and they're a bit older. There's still question marks, but I don't know that it's been elevated or advanced, at least at the moment. And so if they just become a play-in team and they're out, it to me will feel like regression. And now that you don't have Fox, that's your reality. Like what's your great young piece you're building on? Sabonis isn't a dinosaur, but he's reaching that peak of his career. And so with guys like LaVine, who are great, and DeRozan, these are great players, Malik Monk, but you've kind of aged, and you want that team to have kind of been all well together and seasoned and getting it around 2 and moving on into the postseason. It just feels like they kind of changed the plan mid-plan, and we're still trying to sort all this out to see what this group will be. And then will there be another change? I mean, obviously, I think there would be if this does not become what they had hoped for, which was not only a playoff appearance, but maybe even advancing around. So lots of things still to be determined. And tonight it begins with the matchup with the Warriors. When we come back, the guys were working out yesterday. Let's hear what they had to say with their first practice as they're all back together and their outlook on the remainder of the season. We've got that when we come back here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Coach Doug Christie here for your truck headquarters, Folsom Lake Ford. Shop all your favorite models on sale now, like America's best-selling F-Series. Check out a huge selection of Mavericks, F-150s, and Super Duty trucks, or tech-filled SUVs like Explorers and Expeditions. Plus a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. All in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Right now, buy any new Ford with $0 down on approval of credit. Save big with low interest finance rates. And Folsom Lake Ford always pays top dollar for your trade. Hurry to Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall, a 6-time Triple Crown winner for sales and service excellence. That's why they are my trusted dealer, and they should be yours too. For 35 years and counting, come down and take a test drive today. Tell them Coach Doug Christie sent you, or shop online at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture with daily use.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Whitey here, reminding you that not all grills are created equal and every detail matters. Check out the new Napoleon Prestige and Rogue models and see the difference a Napoleon makes. Napoleon grills have features other grills can't match. They're built different, built better, built to last. Complete with a lifetime warranty and premium stainless steel, boasting absolute quality. Napoleon knows that the smallest details add up to make a big difference when curating your perfect grilling experience. Visit Green Acres Nursery today for your best selection of Napoleon grills and accessories.
Hey, this is Greg Papa. Are you working through a major insurance claim? SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to, not what just some adjuster working for an insurance company thinks you should get. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
And with this girl I'm hating, she's so good.
The only in the morning to get your sports fix. Live and local. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, this is funny that you're playing this, Chris. There was nobody that told you to play this?
No.
You sure?
Yes.
Okay. This song might have been playing in the car yesterday. Yeah, twice.
Which car?
Oh, my wife's car.
Yeah. Oh, so not the one without the radio.
No. That one would have to be going through the phone, which could. But yeah. Good pull. I feel like something's up. But I'm okay with that.
Okay.
Yeah. Back here on the show, Jason Ross, Chris Verlaud. Man, I should have let that one go. Even though I was that the clean version?
Yes.
Okay.
I had to double, triple check.
Double and triple check. So back here on the show, we are rolling right along. We take you to, again, coming up at 8 o'clock, we will have Kings Rewind for the first portion of the season. We'll have some fun with that. Looking forward to that. Kings back in action today, and they were back yesterday, and they're back. They were back at practice, and good to see, good to get the guys together. Again, practice time is so rare in the NBA. It doesn't happen a lot. They get together, they have shoot-arounds, they have a lot of film study, but to get them on the court doesn't happen a ton, so you got to maximize that, capitalize on it, and get work done. So let's hear from the interim head coach, that's Doug Christie, talking about the first practice post-All-Star break.
There's a lot of little things that only a training camp can help, but we smashed it all together and tried to give up as much information as humanly possible, but at the same time keeping it as simplistic as possible.
How many practice sessions did you guys get?
Well, we got the one today. Yesterday we got together, but it was more mental, and it wasn't like what you guys witnessed today.
What's going to be the biggest area of focus before things kind of resume here?
Always defense, my friend. But at the same time, you got to smooth out the edges, and the turnovers not good, bad starts not good. A lot of those are coming from trying to do the right thing, and so I'm totally understandable. But the one thing, as you guys know me, is the thing, defense. It has to happen. So I don't know how it happens, as Rick Adelman used to say, it's that it happens.
You know what's funny about Doug and working with Doug for so long that I did and getting to know him, he will be the first one to tell you, look, his career, he became known as a defensive player, but he did not come into the NBA as a defensive player. I mean, he was, everybody that kind of gets there obviously has some gifts offensively, and Doug was a pretty good scorer, versatile. I mean, think about Doug's size, combo guard, handle the ball, shoot the ball, and then he realized his time to get on the floor, he was going to have to do something defensively. And so that was his lane in, and then he leaned in. And I think, when you are established like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, you've kind of cracked the code and got your minutes and your all-star recognition and buckets that they can score. There's still a spot for anybody that can consistently get baskets. Like those players are gifted, and you want that in this league and on your team. But obviously the perfect, closer to perfect type of player you're looking for is two-way, is someone that is not any kind of liability for you defensively, but can consistently keep things moving and going and score for you offensively. Still, you got to score more points than the other team. That's the ultimate goal. But if you're having trouble stopping them, there will be a time when that team can probably stop you from scoring, and that's where you lose games. So Doug's right about the edges, the turnovers, some of the stuff that part of these mistakes they've been making is because of the lack of continuity. They haven't played a lot together when adding some of the new pieces, but that's the reality they're in. They made a significant trade, a couple of them, and now between LaRavia, Valanciunas, and LaVine, these are three guys that are going to play, and LaVine a lot, that you're trying to incorporate, where they like the ball the most, what he did in Chicago. Look, he's coming from Billy Donovan, who called plays all the time, where Mike Brown and now Doug Christie, it's really a read, react, play freely, just play. Know what the defense is taking away from you, so know what is open for you. Understand where your teammates' comfort zones are. Look, if you've spent any time watching the Kings this year, you can tell where DeMar DeRozan wants to get to. He's got those 3 to 4 spots on the floor that he's trying to get to. All right, well, now you know that. I mean, where is Keegan more comfortable? Where is Sabonis? These are things that you learn, hopefully quicker, and they're going to try to do. But Doug's MO, and he talked about it, was defense. Let's hear a little bit more from Doug Christie about the team's defense.
Because defense is an individual. We don't play individual sport. Defense is a collective. We play a team sport. So even on our squad, we didn't have necessarily a whole bunch of individual defenders, but collectively, the ability to communicate at a high level, the ability to do early work, to be handsy and physical and pull the trigger and make sure that we're making very decisive decisions. Like we pull the trigger and it happens, and from there everybody responds, as opposed to always being reactive and getting hit first. I'm not a get hit first guy.
I think there's a lot to that. And I think if you remember the last time the Kings played the Warriors, that game was played here. Warriors were down some front court personnel, and Kings really did a great job of scheming and doing what they could to control Steph Curry. Steph Curry made one basket in the second half, and it was like the last minute of the game. That was a game plan that was executed well, and they figured out a way to do it. And so, to me, defensively, they don't have a lot of great defensive players, but it doesn't mean they can't be better defensively. And I think, rebounding, generally they're pretty good at, so that's the back end of defense. They have kind of made it schematically, at least under Mike Brown, and a little bit here still under Doug Christie, of protecting the paint, because they don't have a rim protector per se, but they'll pack the paint more and make teams shoot threes. Now, you're not trying to give them open threes. You still want to be contested and challenged, but you're playing the percentage game there of protecting the paint, giving up some threes. Well, the Kings have been vulnerable there, giving up a lot of threes, and at times open threes or fouling three-point shooters. So they've got to find that right mix of, like Doug says, hitting first, making them feel you, being present, so they know you're out there, still protecting the paint where they're a little bit vulnerable, and just make it more difficult shooting threes. And I think the less they turn it over, that increases their chances. The better they are on offense, I think, makes them get it out of the net and can get you to set your defense, those kind of things. But it's just not a great defensive team. And then I think now where you're getting to is where Doug's got that decision to make in games about lineups to play. And it's kind of that Keon Ellis situation we've talked about for the last couple of days. Keon is a terrific defender. I think Keegan can be a really good defender and has shown that. Sabonis needs to be on the floor. So if you're playing those three, now for the two left spots playing minutes at the end of a game, maybe in a close game, you're looking at Monk, DeRozan, LaVine. They all can't be in. And so two of them are. And if you take out Keon or Keegan, then you're hurting your defense. So that's the trick of what they've got going on. Here's Doug Christie talking about putting the lineups together on the floor.
I mean, it's always going to be a problem. It's an age-long problem that we haven't always had here, to be honest with you. We have credit to the front office and everybody there that they did a good job of bringing in talent. The bottom line is we win the game. I don't care how it happens. And hopefully everyone is on the same page with that. And I think not only on the same page, same paragraph, same sentence, and same word. And we will see, because the competition starts tomorrow.
Yeah. And again, I think that's where Doug and the coaching staff have to figure out, how do they get to that winning situation? Some of the ways you can do it, some of the nights it will be offensively. But a lot of games come down to it. The last 4 minutes, multiple possession, 2-3 possession game. You need stops. You need scores. There's better guys on the team that give you stops. There's better guys that give you scores. And that's the push and pull that this team is going through right now. They don't have enough two-way guys consistently for this team. But that doesn't mean you can't find that little middle ground to get the most of your offense while getting the most of your defense. Okay, we're going to talk more about this. There's more reaction from practice. We'll hear more from Doug also about the new member of the Kings, Markelle Fultz, his impact and when we might see him play. We'll get into some of that before we get to Kings Rewind. That's all as we continue right here on Sacktown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for the President's Day sales event?
If you've been waiting to get a new Ram Heavy Duty, now is the time to buy. Save up to $20,000 off MSRP on remaining new 2024 Ram Heavy Duties, starting as low as $38,995.
That's huge savings on heavy duties.
Yep, and that means it can't last long. Some may call themselves a Super Ram Truck Center, but when you need a hard-to-find Ram Heavy Duty, Hoblet has it, with over 400 new Ram trucks available.
Don't miss your chance to save. Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
20,000 total net savings after 13,000 factory rebates and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include 10% off MSRP factory cash. Sample VIN savings, 8,013. 4,000 Hoblet select inventory coupons, and 1,000 Hoblet trade-in assistance for 2005 or newer under 160,000-mile vehicle. At least 5 of this net savings. $38,995 net price. Simple VIN 411627. See dealer for details.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
High Voltage Live boxing action returns to the venue on March 8th as Uppercut Promotions presents Thunder Showdown 2 with 8 big fights on the bill featuring top-level veterans and the best in up-and-coming new names. Scheduled fighters include names like cruiserweights Blake McKernan and Sean Miller. It's a night of great boxing action you won't want to miss. It's Thunder Showdown 2 coming March 8th to the venue at the Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Fight cards subject to change. See Thunder Valley website for scheduled lineup.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave for American Energy Heating and Air with a question. Have you recently had a technician diagnose your HVAC system and you were a bit surprised at how much it cost? Or did something seem off about their quote? Because at American Energy, they take pride in giving you honest, straightforward solutions to get that system up and running. Have their qualified technicians come out and give you a free second opinion. It's free. You got nothing to lose but some dollars off of that original quote. They're making the uncomfortable comfortable. They've been doing it since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ with the Better Business Bureau. That's why they keep having customers coming back for more and more and more. You can call them and set that appointment at 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Carmichael Dave.
He has very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say. He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
All right, show rolling right along here on this Friday. Game day. Sacramento Kings, Golden State Warriors tonight. Should be an incredible atmosphere at Golden One Center. Really looking forward to this evening. As the Kings yesterday held their first practice post All-Star break, and now it's the sprint. Here we go. The race to the finish. How many wins can the Kings get? What will it take to get a top 10 spot, a top 6, all those kind of things we discussed earlier. But it is time to make that push. And let's get a little bit more from practice yesterday. We heard a little bit from Doug Christie. Let's hear him talk about one of the new Kings, and that is Markelle Fultz, and when we might see him play.
He's a hooper. What that means in the big scheme of things, until you put it in the gumbo, you don't know how it tastes.
I like Doug giving us the gumbo reference. Yeah, we got to see. We got to see him get some. He's going to get that practice time. We're going to see what he looks like doing that. Here's a little bit more from Doug on what DeMar DeRozan's doing. I
mean, DeMar is just a hell of a basketball player. I mean, I'm a little bit more. Not necessarily traditional a point guard, like you are a basketball player. We put him in positions for him to make plays. He makes plays. We put him in position to make buckets. He makes buckets. And that's just a credit to him as a craftsman and how he goes about his business on a day-to-day basis. So the rotations and all those things, it's going to be whatever it takes to win the ball game. Some nights it may be this way, some nights it might be that way, some nights you play a lot, some nights you don't play as much, but hopefully on the left side of the ledger it's a W for the Kings. That's really all that counts.
Yeah, and when I was talking about that earlier about kind of the conundrum that Doug, and really the way the roster is and the way it's built, is DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar DeRozan is a professional scorer. He's a great scorer. He still continues to move up the ladder of all-time leading scorer on that list and can consistently get buckets for the team. He has been a really good closer to games. I know it wasn't the case against New Orleans in the last game, but he also did hit the game winner in Dallas and has done many big things in the fourth quarter this season. But he is not a great defender. I mean, he's just not. He's a good offensive player. So you get into that situation, and then you got Keon, who you feel like, okay, man, they need Keon on the floor because he's such a good defensive player, creates havoc and deflections and steals, and also is really pretty good offensively. So that's really the trick this team has, is whether it's, I'm not saying it's necessarily a DeMar DeRozan versus Keon Ellis, but it could be DeMar DeRozan versus Keon. It could be Keon or Malik, Keon or Keegan, like I mentioned earlier, Keon or LaVine. I mean, these are the things that, like Doug is explaining there pretty well, that they've got to figure out, no matter what way they do it, is at the end is making sure they get that win. Let's get a little bit more from Doug about the other new King and Zach LaVine.
I really like what I see out of him. Long, athletic. I mean, I've watched him since he was in Washington, obviously being from Seattle, so I know what he brings to the game. what he brings to the game with the mixture of the guys we have is probably the question mark. But defensively, long and rangy, has the ability to see the floor at a high level and make a lot of passes, and then his ability to score, not like a shooter scoring, but he got to his mid-range, hit a three, drove all the way to the basket after Valanciunas just killed the whole lane. So it looked good.
You know, and Zach LaVine still to me is a little bit of the unknown entity to the Kings. Not in his career, because he's been a really good player, multi-time All-Star, and was having a terrific season. I mean, a really, really good season in Chicago. And I personally don't think we've seen enough of that yet in Sacramento. I think it's coming, and that's the part that, to me, is a little bit unknown to what the ceiling of this team can look like when Zach LaVine's playing at that high level. I think we saw glimpses of it. Certainly a game against New Orleans that they ended up ironically losing. He was playing really, really well. I think Zach so far has tried to kind of just fit in. And in Chicago, he was the lead guy. I mean, it was his team. It was his group. And we saw him take over a game and nearly come back and beat the Kings by himself earlier this year when he was a member of the Bulls and the Kings went to Chicago. I think he's got a lot of good talent around him, and I think he's still trying to sort all of that out. But the last game that he played, 31 points, 10 assists, shows you what he's capable of. He started to hit his threes at a better percentage. His athletic ability is great. I still think the Kings haven't really tapped that as far as transition and lobs and a couple different things they can go there. He, too, I would like to see play better defense, but I think that still has been something that hasn't quite reached its full capabilities. And so I think if you're trying to look at this in the best way for the Sacramento Kings, if Doug and the coaching staff can figure out a way to manipulate the minutes properly and get the most out of really their top 8 guys, get that bench producing at a much better rate than we think because of what just the personnel is better. That's it. That's going to be the version of this team. And what I still think they have done here with all their moves, I think they have raised their floor because I think the bench is just better. I think they have better overall top 8, top 9 talent. But I do think they do miss De'Aaron Fox. I do. Not all of you think that, and that's okay. I think they do. I think they haven't gotten the best version of Malik since the trade of De'Aaron. Malik was playing so well with De'Aaron. And I think more has been put on him. More has been taken away from him by other teams. And it's different when you're truly asked to be the main person running a team on a consistent night-to-night basis, not with just, De'Aaron's out for a night or two. It's different when you're being called to do that every night now. So if they can get all of that blended, that's how you're going to get the good version of the Sacramento Kings. All right, let's hear more about practice time. This going to Zach LaVine.
It's good, because we were pretty much playing, playing on the run those first, 3-4 games. So it's good to put in some sets. For me, get to know people's names. It's really good.
How much can you accomplish in just like 1 or 2 practices, though, in that regard?
As much as is necessary. It's not like you're going to get a training camp or a full season of chemistry, but you can get the basic things in, ask questions, and start to get a feel for what guys like.
All right, a little bit more from LaVine, at least talking about his new teammate, Markelle Fultz.
I'm from Seattle, so I've seen him before. I've worked out with him in the offseason. Great guy, great teammate. He took the flight, actually. His first game was at New Orleans, the last New Orleans game we played, and he was probably the most talkative guy on the bench, telling guys what to do with, defensive coverages and pointing things out. So he's very vocal, and I think we need somebody like that. He's always been one of my favorite guys in the NBA.
All right, well, that's encouraging. How about Fultz himself? He's now a new King, hasn't played yet, but he's talking a little bit about that, about why he is such a vocal player, whether he's on the floor or off the floor.
That's just something that I've learned to do as a point guard. Also, just coming from Orlando, being with a lot of young guys, I had to just be that voice on the floor, and I feel like communication is one way to help your teammates out and let them know where you're at, and to be able to pick up and just build confidence with your teammates. So it's second nature for me. It's something that I feel like can go anywhere. And I think as long as I continue to do that, I think it's something that's contagious, and I hope that everyone continues to pick that up, and we appreciate that.
I think that this team has always kind of been a quiet team. I don't think that's for the good, but if you've got more people new to the organization, jumping in, getting comfortable, saying their piece. I saw that the other day in his first game. Markelle Fultz was talking a lot to Malik Monk. And Monk was running the team and running the offense, and Fultz, brand new, first game, first day there. And he's the one that's talking a lot to Malik Monk. And so I think it's always helpful when you have teammates willing to share input and advice, something they see from the bench. And that can always help. I think these are all potentially good things for this team. So I like that. I like what Fultz ultimately might be able to do and help this team. I don't know when his time will come, but I still think that was an area that needed to be addressed. The Kings did some things to address the front court a little bit. And I still think Jake LaRavia, too. I like his, just relentless energy. He's going to be the winning plays type of guy, right? And if that means taking a charge, diving for a loose ball, getting a back tap, whatever it might be, he is going to be out there doing that. And so I like the makeup. I still personally think they could play Valanciunas a little bit more and go through him a little bit more. This guy's been a starting center, an effective center, and now he's coming off your bench. I'm not saying he should start, but the fact that he could start in this league for a lot of teams, you need to utilize that, his size, his abilities. And I thought last game when they played New Orleans, they missed him a lot on post-up. So, they're still working out and finding everybody's strengths. But if they can do that, like we had a couple people chiming in here on the YouTube. Let's see. As long as Zach gets 24 points per game and shoots better from three, I think we're going to be good. Zach's going to be really important in this. Look, because De'Aaron Fox was really important what the Kings were doing, and now they don't have De'Aaron, so you need to fill some of that void, and Zach can do it. And what I was hoping for between Zach and LaRavia, and even, maybe you get a better shooting version of Lyles going forward, a lot of guys that weren't shooting well, this team has to start making threes at a better clip too, and I think that's still out there right now for this squad. All right, 2 hours done. When we come back, you asked for it. Well, at least that's what we're saying. We asked for it. The Kings Rewind. We'll look back at the pre-All-Star version of the season. A lot of things have happened to this squad. We'll remind you of a few of those things through my script and Chris's brain dump. Whatever clips come out, we'll find out. Kings Rewind before they play the Warriors. We've got that coming your way next.
Live and local.
With everything 49ers.
Intercepted by Fred Warner. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown! San Francisco! Bob Bolters went up and caught the ball. Touchdown!
The 49ers play on Sacktown Sports 1140.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Friday. Out the door to a cool start with some areas of patchy fog. As the fog fades, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and light winds this afternoon. Highs will peak in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Elk Grove Honda reports that Honda has earned 3 coveted 2025 Car and Driver 10 Best Awards for the 3rd year in a row, honoring Honda Civic, Accord, and CRV. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
On Wednesday, March 5th, Sacramento is where the best wrestle as All Elite Wrestling presents Dynamite and Collision. 2 of professional wrestling's biggest shows all in one night. Be there live as AEW returns to Sacramento for the first time in 2 years for the final 2 shows before AEW Revolution.
Let's get down to business.
AEW Dynamite and Collision from Sacramento Memorial Auditorium. Wednesday, March 5th. Tickets on sale now starting at $20 at AEWTIX.com.
Way to go. You've stuck to your resolution to become a fitter you, and now those exercises that pushed you to your limits the first time around are already feeling easier. So what's next? At InShape, taking your workout to the next level can be as easy as trying something new. Take our small group training classes like boxing, rowing, and more, or set new goals with an InShape personal trainer. Then recover with a massage or the sauna, also known as the best part of the workout. We are InShape. You are ready. Join online today at InShape.com.
It's Friday, folks, and perfect weather for a classic Palisades weekend. Dial in your gear and fire up your Toyota because it's rippable out here. I'm Johnny Mosley with your Friday Toyota Tahoe report.
Thanks, Johnny. Get ready for a fun sunny day with highs reaching 47 degrees. Tonight, expect partially cloudy skies in the low 30s, and tomorrow it'll be a bit warmer with a high near 52. This report is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The sewer system. It's probably the last thing on your mind, and that's okay. Because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. As the region's largest sewer utility, we own and maintain thousands of miles of sewer pipe. And our job is to get to your sewer problem before it interrupts your life. So whether you've got a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night. The Sacramento Area Sewer District. It's a dirty job, but we're happy to do it.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140. The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
Oh, thanks to all of you on the chat. Carmichael Dave is in there now. Quantum Leaper, though, Chris wants more Yin Yang twins.
See what we can do.
See what we can do. So we better come back from the break with more Yin Yang twins. I'm like, wow.
They go with Richard Schnery's entrance music?
Maybe. Thank you to all of you there. A lot of you out there this morning. Hit that thumbs up button while you're there on our YouTube. Certainly on our chat. If you'd like to comment there, we got our own show going on the side. We try to take a look at our comments that we can. And also on the text line, 916-339-1140, if you'd like to chime in there as well. Let's see. We had a couple from the text line. Malik should start Keon to finish because that's what we need to end the games. Okay. I think Doug should play the bench guys more in the first half than have the closers play more LOL in the last couple quarters. Maybe that will keep them fresher. That's from Esteban. Tonight, Against a smaller, older, weaker Warriors team, do you think Doug should bring the Lithuanian lumber? Sure. I like that. I feel like there's – do you feel this way, Chris? Is there something with Doug and Steve Kerr?
What? I haven't recognized anything.
No? Okay. I just remember the game.
I remember when Kerr lost his mind over that.
Yeah, thought that Keon flopped. And then Doug said something to him.
Yeah.
And then I think even the last time maybe there was a little something. I like it. Doug's he's a competitor. He doesn't mess around. I like that. So is Kerr. Obviously, Kerr's wildly successful. I'm okay if there's some coach beef. Nothing with that. All right. We haven't had a rewind in a while. There isn't.
Last Friday. It's been a week.
Last Friday, right? It's been 1 week. There hasn't been a game.
It's been 1 week.
How did we both go there? It's been 1 week since we had a rewind. And we will have a rewind on Monday after the recap of this Kings-Warriors game. But we thought we would look back at some of the good, the bad, the ugly, the best, and the worst of the pre-All-Star portion of the Kings schedule. So, without further ado, let's do it. Kings Rewind time. Actually, before I get to that, this one's killing me. Kerr acts like a cat thrown into a bathtub. Nice. Like that text. All right, Kings Rewind has been off for a while, but it is back today without a game being played. What to call, though? What did we call this edition? It's not the first half of the season when 2/3 of the schedule has already been played.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
So let's go with the first 55, like 55, Jay Will's number, or 55, the age that Chris Verlaud thinks I turned about 15 years ago.
But she's an old lady. I mean, look at her. She's old. You can't just take her stuff. She's too old.
I asked for that one. As we look back at the Sacramento Kings 2024-2025 journey so far, we must start at the beginning. Opening night of the season, the Kings tipped off the season at home against Minnesota. In what was the first game in the post-Harrison Barnes era? Kings head coach Mike Brown put out his opening day starting lineup of new King DeMar DeRozan.
I'm glad D-Rose came home. Y'all didn't deserve him either.
And 4 returners in Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, De'Aaron Fox, and Kevin Huerter.
Are you ready for a war?
The season opener and second game ended as losses. So the first beam lighting came in game number 3 when the Kings took out the Blazers and watched as the purple laser lit up the Sacramento sky. In early November, the Kings made a trip to South Beach, and in the closing seconds, Domantas Sabonis with a putback to beat the Heat by 1. In mid-November, the Kings hosted the T-Wolves in what would prove to be a historic night. De'Aaron Fox lit up the scoreboard for a franchise record 60 points in one game.
King Kong ain't got nothing on me.
Year 2 of the in-season tournament was not so kind to the Kings. As quickly as they entered the Cup tournament, they were abruptly dismissed.
Oh, that's easy.
In December, the Kings hosted the Utah Jazz in what seemed to be a non-eventful game. Red Velvet led the Kings in scoring that night, but the headline became the 8-minute, 18-point outburst to complete the rout by Doug McDermott.
I'm loving it.
The very next game, the Kings visited New Orleans. For the very first time since going 0-6 the year before, and behind Domas Sabonis' 32-point, 20-rebound effort, the Kings finally exorcised that demon.
I have exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
Then the Kings hit a big bump, a big-time bump in the road, a loss to Denver, the Lakers twice, Indiana, and then the unthinkable, the heartbreaking loss to make it 5 in a row to Detroit.
I'm going to lose my freaking mind.
Well, that loss proved costly, and that was the last time the Kings were going to be coached by Mike Brown as he was relieved of his coaching duties.
Now, we are f***ed.
Well, the organization called on a former player and a former coworker of ours, Doug Christie, to take over.
What is significant is I felt the touch of God. God got involved.
Well, after an opening loss, DC got the most out of his team, and suddenly the Kings had their longest win streak in years. Wins over Dallas, Philly, Memphis, Golden State, Miami, Boston, and Chicago. The vibes were good, and Doug even took the team to see the beam up close and personal.
That light is burning my brain.
While the winning was going on, the doubt was creeping in. A visit from Clutch Sports from the front office, with the front office, and the franchise face, De'Aaron Fox, was talking about another location.
Fragile ego, fragile body, weak mind, weak spirit.
A private situation became very public as Fox expressed his desire for the Spurs while the Kings acted on it. Cue up a big trade as Fox, Herter, McLaughlin left, and Zach LaVine came west. Veen! New additions of Jake LaRavia and Jonas Valanciunas joined the squad too.
We have the meat.
So the Kings, they make it to the break without their former coach of the year, without their franchise point guard, and without an all-star again.
Hello.
It is me you're looking for. So next up, the final 27, which begins tonight at home against the Golden State Warriors. Let's do it!
Okay, fine. You can keep your small-minded podunk town with no culture and an average Chinatown at best. And P.S., your trolleys are stupid. They make you look like a child.
Well done, Chris. Well done. I have a feeling some of those may show up again on Monday when we rewind.
So?
When we rewind for the Kings.
I think of another one we're going to probably play in March, probably early March.
Oh.
Fragile ego, fragile body, weak mind, weak spirit.
You like that one, don't you?
I do.
You're proud of that one. There you go. We hope you appreciated that. Thanks to you out there. I like the mix of Domas with The Heat Is On.
Heat is on. Heat is on.
Well done. There you go. If you missed the first half of the season, the first 55 games, now you know.
Someone just woke up from a coma and they're like, oh, how are the Kings doing? Let me know what's going on. Well, here you go.
And now they're going, I want to go back in that coma. Send me back. 27 games to go.
That's what I hate about the All-Star break, because it feels like, oh, we're halfway through the season. And then
close.
Once like you get the first game, it's like, oh man, it's almost over.
Yeah. I mean, they only play tonight. They don't have games this weekend, but I think there's 3 or 4 next week. It's going to fly by. I mean, we're almost to the finish line, but that's why they're all important, including
unbelievable.
Look, we're already at game 56 today. My goodness. Well, we're going to talk more about that, and that is the Warriors matchup tonight. A lot of you have been chiming in on that. How do they do it? How do they beat the Golden State Warriors tonight? They've done it twice this year. Tonight will be a different look. Who guards Jimmy? Who guards Steph? What are the importance keys to this matchup? We've got that coming your way next.
The only place you'll find Malik Monk is Sacktown Sports.
Oh my, what an athletic move that time by Malik Monk.
Hey Sacramento, it's Malik Monk and you're listening to the home of the Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Finally, an easy way to find home improvement contractors. Just visit subcontractorsunited.com and simplify your search for home services professionals. From cabinets to windows, roofing to plumbing, Subcontractors United is an easy, simple way to find and hire a home improvement contractor. And you never have to give up personal information. So no harassing phone calls like you get from those other websites. Subcontractorsunited.com is sponsored by D&D Cabinets and Savage Design.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
On Sacktown Sports.
Hello. Now, welcome back. I think I could do the song like that. Just whispering. Jason Ross, Christopher Ladd, Carmichael Dave back with us on Monday. All right, Kings and Warriors tonight. Let's get into it. How do they do it? How do they beat them? What are the keys? How does it happen? The two times they played them this year. The first time when the Kings went to San Francisco and played the Warriors, that was one of those games. Let me see if I can find the box score there, because that was one of those nights where the Kings were on fire. Everything was kind of working. They played really, really well and won that game 129-99. Just they had it. They had it going on. Hit him with a 36-21 first quarter, and just it was over. Good balance. They did not have De'Aaron Fox that night. Keon started. He had 11. Monk had 26 and 12. Sabonis 22, 13 and 7. DeRozan just went for 12. Keegan had 11. Bench. Herter had 16. Carter had 13. Good balance attack. And Steph Curry had 26. But, you know, Draymond wasn't a factor. Wiggins was 18. They played Schroeder then, Trace Jackson Davis. They were kind of going through, at that time, the Kings were 16 and 19 coming into the game. The Warriors were 18 and 16 after that incredible start they had. So Kings have since caught them and passed them. Now they're back into a tie. Then they played a few days later, and that was a completely different game. The Warriors, if I remember right, in that game, the Kings won by 6. And the Warriors just were minus Draymond. I know Kuminga was still out at that time, or was out at that time. Yeah, Slow-Mo didn't play in that game. So they were very light in the front court. And what Sacramento did that game was have a scheme and a game plan to basically say, Steph Curry is not going to beat us. Now, I know that seems logical, and a lot of people tried that, but that's they Kings had such a huge impact on Steph in that game. Steph took 11 shots. He only took 4 threes. He only got to the free throw line once. He ended with 14 points. Now, he had 12 assists. He was a playmaker. And they were saying, basically, we are going to see if other guys can beat the Kings. And I tell you what, they almost did. Kings had to have a good fourth quarter to win. The Warriors hit 22 threes that night, and Steph Curry hit one of them. That was stunning to me. Wiggins hit 5. Buddy hit 5. Santos hit 4. Moody hit 3. So that was just a few weeks ago, and that put the Kings up 2-0 in the regular season matchup. A win tonight gives them a 3-0. Gives them that tiebreaker, which is massive. Puts them a game ahead of the Warriors. Warriors are 3-1 since they've added Jimmy Butler. And so now I want to see, like, this is that, you know, a lot of you have been talking about on the text line and on YouTube, which we appreciate, kind of that must-win feel to it. I like these games. Again, if you don't win, you're on the wrong side of it. You regroup, you get back at it. But you've got a team in both sides of this that desperately need the win. You've got a Warrior team that is making bold statements. Again, I'm going to say it. I'm okay with that. I like their confidence. I think they should be feeling confident. I don't think they're going to win the championship, but that doesn't matter. They are saying that. And they've got to back that up. This is their first chance to do that since Draymond made those statements, and some of his teammates are supporting that. And so the Kings know they're going to get in a focused, aggressive look at the All-Star break. Really, there's no more time for let-ups. They will happen, but you just don't want them in the first game back out of the break. So there's pressure on the Kings tonight. There's pressure on the Warriors. I like these games. I know the energy and the crowd is going to be awesome. And I want to see how the Kings respond. The Kings were playing well going into the break until they lost the last game they played. So it doesn't feel as fresh of a wound, but it is the last game that they played. You want to regroup, get back in the win column, and start this down the right path. And I just want to see the best that this team can be. And I don't know that we've seen that. Maybe a glimpse, like I said earlier, in that first Warriors matchup. That was really good. They had a great night. Saw them play great against Boston. You don't want those to be just isolated, few and far, in between games like that. I think this team all along, from the goals that the organization set from the get-go of making the postseason and trying to win in the postseason, I don't think was far-fetched. I think even with the trades and the coaching change, I think they're all capable of it. But they've also shown, we've seen at times, where the flaws are. And we know where they are. Defensively, right now, I would say is the largest issue holding this team back. Consistent defensive performance. Not effort, performance, results. And can you get more out of the guys that are giving you the high-level offense? I think you have to. Like Doug would say, that's non-negotiable. Have to have better effort defensively from mainly your starters. The bench guys, I like the setup now, because before it was like, some of the bench guys, they're just not providing much. I don't think they have to score as much as everybody is claiming. But you just want to keep it moving. You don't want it to just be such a drastic drop-off. I mean, if the starters are giving you 100 points a game, well, fill that role defensively as the bench, and rebounding and steals and deflections and a timely three here and there. They don't need 35 bench points if your starters are killing it offensively. But what you need from that bench group is that toughness, those winning plays that we talked about, that a guy like LaRavia and I think Valanciunas and Keon provide. That's the collection that they have. It's a little bit of an odd mix and match, but it's a mix and match that I think could be better than the one game above 500. I think they could be a little bit better than this, a slightly above 500 team. Certainly, I felt they were better when they were, 6 games below? That was hard to understand. They've played at a better clip since then, but they got to keep this thing pushing in the right direction. And let's hear a little bit more from Doug on just kind of all of that and what they prepped for this finish of the season.
I don't know, S, about that one. If you're in the water and you need a breath, is there really a good time to get it when you can? So was happy for the break. I didn't really take a break. I watched a lot of video and just trying to make sure that I'm being the best person in this position that I can possibly be, and make sure that I'm prepared for them, and make sure that they are feeling and understand what I would like. But I hope that they got some rest, and seeing the tans and different things. I think they probably did. I just walked my dog.
Yeah. Cleared his mind. Walk the dog. Get your mind right, Doug. One more from Zach LaVine from practice about making that push for the postseason.
Yeah, make a run, and make a push. We understand who we have to play and what we have to do. The new group, we're glad that we have this time of the break to try to take advantage of that too. But the league doesn't care about new pieces or new faces, so we have to do our job.
Yeah, and look, when you count them all at the end, I already can think of a few, and I'm sure you guys can too, of games that you go, man, that one probably should have been a win. We referenced a few of those in Kings Rewind. Certainly the last game they played, New Orleans, is a setback you'd like to have back. You go the Detroit loss, which ultimately cost Mike Brown his job. That was the final game. I mean, that's just two. And let's just stop there. There's more, but let's stop there. Those are two games in my mind they should not have lost. They just shouldn't have. So let's, in this fantasy world and la land, give them 2 more wins, 2 less losses. How are you feeling about the Kings at 30-25? That's it. I've only changed 2 games. I haven't done any drastic. I haven't changed personnel. Haven't changed any, rules. Just giving them 30-25 right now. Changing the final game of the break, which is the Pelicans, and that Detroit loss. 30-25 would have them a half game out of 7th. Again, not a world of difference, but a half game out of 7th and 1 full game out of 6th. Feel a little differently just on that. So as you go forward in the final 27, you'll lose. There'll be losses. But I hope we're not saying, man, that's one they should have had or could have had. You can't have many more of those, if any more. You're trying to get as many as you possibly can because you are playing some good teams, including tonight. I think this Warriors team is better. I think Jimmy Butler gives him a different wrinkle. I think you've got the edge with Draymond. They know the importance of this finish to the season. Steph still playing at, out of this world level. And they do have good role players. Like that team's been up and down, much like the Kings. Got off to an incredible start, then had just a brutal stretch, and has kind of leveled this out here. But a lot of that became of the new addition of Jimmy Butler. So what are the Kings going to look at seeing a guy like him? I'm assuming that's going to be Keegan Murray quite a bit. Keegan guarded Steph, though, quite a bit as well. And so you're going to have some matchup situations tonight that are a little concerning, at least that starting group. What will Zach LaVine look like against the Warriors? Some of this newfound bench depth. What will that look like against the Warriors? These are questions that will be answered tonight that make it fun. I like these matchups. I like the stretch here. I like the spot the Kings are in. I wish they had a few more wins, but I still feel like they are in a little bit of their own control. There's enough time to get this right, and they got a little bit of cushion with teams behind them. But I don't want them to know that or feel that or play like that. They got to keep it pushing. They got to feel the heat, feel the pressure, and continue this going forward in the best way possible. All right, we will do the same here. Still to come, remember, coming up at 9 o'clock, Brendan Nunez, our Sacktown Sports Kings insider, will join us. We mentioned the Kings being back in action tonight. We also will have a return to 3 in the Key. I look forward to that. We'll have Friday Fun and Games to all wrap up today's episode. So much more to get to. We'll continue with more straight ahead right here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Roseville Auto Mall.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. Welcome to your Friday. Out the door to a cool start with some areas of patchy fog. As the fog fades, we're looking at mostly sunny skies and light winds this afternoon. Highs will peak in the upper 60s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
There's only one place where you'll find thousands of top brand vehicles and a friendly staff. Find the perfect ride tailored to fit your budget and save even more when you shop the largest selection of certified and pre-owned vehicles online at RosevilleAutomall.com. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time.
And skip the regular line at the airport and pay for speedy security. Imagine not having to quickly unpack and pack at the place you already came packed to. And wearing your shoes the whole time you're there? You can't put a price on that kind of luxury. Well, actually you can, and you paid for it. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For speedy security. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Gingery. One of the most common questions I receive is what makes us different from other law firms. At Gingery, Hammer & Associates, we handle your case from beginning to end. Whether your case reaches a settlement, whether we need to file suit, or even take it all the way to trial, we will be with you along the entire way. And because we are committed to you and your case, we are as invested as you are in making sure you get the outcome you deserve. If you have an injury, just call Gingery.
There's nothing quite as serene and beautiful as our Sacramento rivers. It's something we can all take pride in. But just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. I'm Alan Stiles from Sacktown Sports. Let's work together to keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Clean rivers don't just mean beauty. They mean healthy fish, safe swimming, and a vibrant ecosystem. So remember, be river-friendly. Every little action makes a huge impact. Visit BeRiverFriendly.net now to be a part of the difference.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 to the Southern Western 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with the California Army National Guard. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally, $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, yeah, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
All guests come to you from the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Waking you up with the best in local sports.
They just make it interesting, you know?
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross
on Sacktown Sports.
Who's hot and who's not coming up. Also, our return to 3 in the Keys. Some predictions for tonight's Kings and Warriors game coming up in our next segment at 9 o'clock. Sacktown Sports Kings insider Brendan Nunes will stop by. We'll get the very latest from him. He was at practice yesterday, kind of get those vibes on what this Kings team can do the remainder 27 going ahead. I got a couple more things I want to clean up. Again, you can dial us up at 916-339-1140 or 1-800 920-1140 if you're heading to the game tonight. Love to hear from you. Get your thoughts on what you think the Kings can do this evening. Also on our chat, on our YouTube. Again, thank you for being there. Subscribe. Hit that thumbs up button while you're there. Let's see. Some people commenting. CK saying, to be fair, Jason, though, there were probably a few wins we pulled off at the very end that probably should have been losses. That's true. It's always true. Always.
I don't know about that. The Kings' record in those 5-point games early in the season were terrible.
It was terrible, but now they've won 7 in a row.
Yes.
So I think they were 3-11 in games at one point decided by 5 points or less. Because back then I was like, 3-11 is so horrifically bad. Imagine if you had won, 4 of those. So now you're 7-7. That's a huge difference. Well, it's kind of balanced out. Now they have won 7 consecutive games decided by 5 points or less. And if we look at that, let's kind of go back at those and see what those games have been. You could argue, I think the most recent one, Chris, was pretty good fortune when they beat Dallas. DeMar DeRozan dribbled right into a double team, split the double team, and threw up the game winner. The game before that was a 5-point win against New Orleans at home, but they had a good lead there. They won at Minnesota by 2. They beat Houston here by 5. Beat Chicago in Chicago by 5. So they're kind of winning more on that 5-point range. The Miami game in double overtime at home, I think, was a nice, might have even had a gift element to that. So they won that one by 5. One at New Orleans by 2. This is the stretch they've been on as far as the 7 consecutive. Also beat Utah by 4 at home. Before that, though, they were having just awful luck in those games decided by 5 points or less. Let's also look at, what was this other text I wanted to get to? I think you're wrong, Mr. Ross. They are very undersized. Speaking of the Warriors, this coming from the 916. And just because they have Jimmy Buckets doesn't make a difference. They're still small, and they still can't compete with bigger teams. And we're bigger than they are. Plus, we have scoring, so we just need to play our game. I just don't feel like the Kings are bigger than anybody. Maybe they are across the board for the Warriors. Now, the Warriors are a little bit of a hard team to figure out in this sense, and I appreciate your text, certainly, is this. Like, I was looking at the Warriors' last 4 or 5 games. Their starting lineup, Steve Kerr changes it all the time. It's never the same, seemingly. I'll just give you the last couple games just to reinforce that. The game they lost to Dallas, one of the only loss with Jimmy Butler. They started Draymond Green, Jimmy Butler, Quentin Post, Steph Curry, and Buddy Hield. Their most recent game before the break when they played the Houston Rockets, which actually is a really good win for them. They started Curry, Draymond. Oops, I lost it here. Curry, Draymond, and Butler to go with Podziemski and Moody. So in that game, the game prior, they out-rebounded their opponent by 10. Yeah, it's not necessarily about size. Like, the Kings across the board are generally still, I think, a little bit smaller than most teams. Maybe the Warriors are what with them. They play small. It will be about rebounding. It will be about defending the 3. It will be about the Kings' execution. The Warriors still have been a team, in the past at least, that has had a high propensity for turnovers. Who wins the turnover battle? Can the Kings run with them? Keep the 3-point range close, because the Warriors are generally going to win that. But you don't want it to be like 22 threes to 11, trying to make up, 11 made threes is 33 extra points. That's difficult to do. So I picture Sabonis and Draymond matching up. I picture the Kings, doing their game plan like they did the last time with Steph. And then, look, if Butler, if Podziemski, if Moody, if Buddy Hield, Trace Jackson Davis, GP2, whoever, if those other guys beat you, they beat you. I think that's going to be kind of the scheme and the plan coming from the Kings. All right, last night we got into this a little bit earlier around the NBA, just kind of resetting some things that we talked about earlier. Certainly the Spurs began life without Victor Wembanyama, and they found their way to a victory yesterday. And I think for San Antonio, it's going to be a tough road going forward. You certainly root for the best for Victor Wembanyama, but that did help the Kings in the Spurs beating the Suns. Phoenix, to me, I just don't know. I don't know if they're going to regroup. They're 26-29. Something's wrong there. Kevin Durant really didn't want to be traded. I commend him for that, for a guy that's bounced around here the last couple of years. But he said he wanted to kind of stick it out and see if they can make it work in Phoenix. It's not working. They look frustrated. They don't look like a team. They look like a bunch of individuals. And I don't know when it's going to get better for the Suns at 26-29 and losing 7 of their last 8. There's so much talent there. This is a team I would say that I've been probably one of the teams I've been most wrong on this year, because I really liked Phoenix's offseason work. A full season with Durant, Booker, and Beal I thought would be good. I was wrong, so far at least. And I'm okay with that because they are struggling and continue to struggle. And the further they stay back at the Kings and the Spurs and all those guys stay out of that top 10 mix, that gives a little more wiggle room to teams like the Warriors and the Kings. So that happened last night. The Lakers got back in the win column last night. 40 points for LeBron. LeBron does it again. I mean, I know not everybody out there is the biggest LeBron fan. I just hope you appreciate what he's doing at this age, this consistency. It's incredible. It is. And you can think he's for the blame or not a fan of his. That's fine. I'm not asking to be. I just hope you acknowledge his greatness, what he's done consistently this long in his career. But with that said, yeah, I hope the Lakers lose every game. Nuggets got back in the win column. Kings got some help from the Bucks as the Bucks beat the Clippers, and that's still a team the Kings are trying to reel in if they can, pull a little bit closer to them currently as the 6th seed. We will a little bit later too talk about other games to watch tonight, because the Kings, they get the Warriors, but there's some other games in the West that could have some impact on those standings. And I think now's the time, pretty much on a day-to-day basis with Dave and I the rest of the way, that we are going to be looking at these matchups and these standings the rest of the way. When we come back, who's hot, who's not, and let's make some predictions. Chris and I will have a 3 in the key for the Kings and the Dubs. The Kings and Warriors tonight. That is coming your way next, right here on Sacktown Sports.
The Sacramento Kings play here.
He's got the triple. Sacramento takes the lead.
Get your Kings fix all season long right here on your home of the Sacramento Kings. Sacktown Sports and SacktownSports.com.
Hey, what's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for the President's Day sales event?
Get the presidential treatment and savings with up to $16,000 off MSRP on new 2025 Ram 1500 crew cabs. With over 400 new Ram trucks available, your truck is waiting at the Hoblet Ram Truck Center.
$16,000 off MSRP on the new 2025s. That's not what I was expecting.
We aren't trying to sell you last year's leftovers. When you need a good deal on the newest truck, Hoblet needs to be your first stop. Plus, check out the huge selection of certified pre-owned vehicles at the Hoblet Certified Pre-Owned Supercenter, with over 220 vehicles available and 40 under $20,000.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
$16,000 total net savings on select new 2025 Ram 1500 after $9,000 factory rebates and $7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates include $2,000 Chrysler Capital bonus cash. Must finance through Chrysler. And on-the-job $500 upfit incentive. Must show business ownership and $500 upfit. 5 with this net savings. See dealer for details.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer. ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Workdays can be unpredictable, but your workwear shouldn't be. With the Cintas Apparel Plus program, you'll have freshly laundered garments for everyone on your team delivered every week. Cintas has workwear for just about any job imaginable, with high-performance fabrics and an uncompromising fit that stretches and moves with you. Don't leave looking and feeling good to chance. Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Miniature golf has been around America since 1916, with the first course opening in Pinehurst, North Carolina, according to Links magazine. Englishman James Barber built a course in his backyard called Lilliputian. A few years later, he built a second course and called it Thistledew. Unlike today's mini golf courses, Thistledew wasn't for children. The 18-hole course was made of compacted sand and clay, making it quite difficult. Today's clown mouths or windmills were nowhere to be found, as the course featured real hazards like rocks, trees, and grass bunkers. 4 holes even required a high-lofted niblick to carry bushes and long grass. Longest hole was 71 feet, shortest was 12. Golf fanatic Thomas McCullough Fairbairn revolutionized the game in 1922 with his formulation of a suitable artificial green consisting of a mixture of cottonseed hulls, sand, oil, and dye. 100 years later, Thistledew has returned to its home at Pinehurst Resort, and guests can play the new Thistledew. Please leave your niblick at home. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
What's hot and what's not? Brought to you by American Energy Heat and Air, making the uncomfortable comfortable. Head to AmericanEnergyAir.com to find out more.
What's hot?
Yeah, hot. Real hot. And what's not?
It's not good. Brought to you by American Energy Heating and Air, Sacramento's complete heating and cooling company and second opinion partner.
All right, Christopher Laud, who is hot?
Nikola Jokic.
Okay, explain.
Well, last night against the Hornets. Hey, a Western team beating the Hornets? That's weird. They won 129-115. Nikola Jokic had 39 points, 17 rebounds, and 9 assists. In his last 9 games, he is averaging a 30-point triple-double, shooting 60% or higher from 60% from the field. They have not lost a game. No one else in NBA history has done all of that over a span longer than 4 games.
I sure hope the fans of the Denver Nuggets appreciate him. I think they do. They better. What's interesting is, as he continues to go, and he is one of the leaders, I think it's him and SGA for MVP. I mean, I don't like when people do this, but I think it's fair to ask. Like, I don't even know where he is all time already. Like, I always like careers to finish. Let him materialize, and maybe one of the things going against him is a ring. He doesn't have multiples yet, but the seasons he's consistently putting up, I mean, it really is staggering how good of a player Nikola Jokic is. And how he's kind of mastered this. He's hit that spot of the career where he's been through everything. He's got all the experience. He's got all of his abilities. And I feel like Jokic is a guy that could play for a long, long time if he wanted to. But I also feel like he's like, I'm going to be done soon. Do you think he would be a cool hang, like to hang out with him?
Oh, yes. When you see his off-season videos?
I do, but I think his brothers, no, I know his brothers scare me.
Oh, I'd be the funny American.
So then the brothers are protecting you.
Yeah.
You would be.
Yeah.
But also you would push some of their buttons, and I don't know how that would go for you. Or you'd just be the funny American.
I think I've told you before. I know where the line is.
You find it somehow. Somehow. Still nobody's come after you yet?
Nope.
Okay. Yet. But yeah, I think Jokic he's interesting. He's truly one of a kind. Joker is the MVP. I don't care. It looks like it to me too. All right, so he's hot. Who is not?
Paul George.
Oh, who's that? I don't remember that guy.
Last night, the Sixers lost 124-104 to the Boston Celtics. Paul George, he had 17 points. If you look at his last few games, 2 points, 14, 12, 14, 9, 9. if by tomorrow's game he does not have 20 points against the Nets, it'll be a month without a 20-point game by Paul George. Yeah.
Oh, man. There's times where Paul George has navigated that area of the league where I feel like he's been overrated and underrated. He's done both. He's weaved through both of those parts. Yeah, I don't understand what's happening with Philadelphia. I just don't. I'm not surprised that they lost to Boston, like you mentioned, Chris, but that's not what they signed up for.
That's what I don't like this whole if you just completely tank, do like a complete rebuild like the 76ers did, look how good that they've become.
Yeah.
Well,
have they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they going to have to do that again?
Right.
Are they going to have to tear everything down and go another 2-3 years without winning anything?
Hang on here. I'm going to do some math and ask you what's more likely probable tonight. And I need a second here. Okay. So in this case, Chris, let me do my quick math. 54 plus 15, 69. So 70.
Carry the one.
Yeah. I'm at 70 for that one. And then 23 plus 46 is okay. There we go. Got that one. Is that the same number? Oh, that's right. Okay. That is funny. Okay. Today's lucky number, Chris, is 70. I'm going to ask you the following question, which I think neither will happen, but which is more likely to happen? 70 being the key number. Steph Curry scoring 70 tonight. So if he does, Steph Curry would then have 816 career points, which would move him ahead of Patrick Ewing. Or this combo, I already think I know the answer. DeMar DeRozan scoring 70, all while Steph Curry scores 0. Then DeMar DeRozan would pass Steph Curry to move into 27th place all time in scoring.
Curry.
Yeah.
But then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we used to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3%, I got 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at sacrifice. See, Joe, the numbers don't lie, and they spell disaster for you.
Who has a better chance of winning the game if you knew ahead of time? Now, I won't give Curry 0, but DeRozan scores 70 or Curry scores 70. Better odds of winning the game. Warriors with Steph going 70 or Kings going DeRozan 70.
Warriors.
Yeah. If DeRozan had 70.
I have a feeling that DeRozan getting 70, that means like
everyone else is like 8.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
I feel like, because look at what we saw with the 60 from Fox.
Yeah. An overtime loss, right?
Because like the thing with people, like when you saw 60, I think a lot of people were like, oh man, he must have been searching for that. Like every single one of those points is needed.
Yeah. Yeah, it was to get to overtime, then in overtime. Yeah, it's pretty cool competition with those two, but Curry's got a little separation now. He's got a 69-point lead on DeMar DeRozan, but they're both going to catch. I mean, DeRozan this year, he would need like Steph to miss some games, but he's going to get to Ewing. He should get to and probably Jerry West. There's a chance of Reggie Miller. That's pretty amazing for both those guys. Other guys ahead of them active. Let me see if you can. I'll do a quick quiz for you, Chris. So DeMar DeRozan active scoring right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's 6th. I already told you, Steph. Do you know the active scorers higher than him?
Then
DeMar DeRozan. Points.
Well, he said Ewing is ahead of.
No, the active guys that are currently playing.
Oh, KD.
KD. Yep.
LeBron, obviously.
Yep. Those are the top 2. So we're looking for 3 and 4, and then Steph was 5. So,
man, it's stupid. I don't know.
It is James Harden and Russell Westbrook.
Ah, yeah,
yeah. Those guys.
Did you happen to see that video of Jokic saying that he's going to break Westbrook's triple record?
Triple double record? Yeah. I love that. I love it. All right, let's do it, Chris.
I see stuff like that. It's like, okay, Jokic is a cool dude.
He is. I think he'd be a fun teammate too. That's for sure. All right, let's give it a little 3 in the key time for tonight. All right, here we go. 3 predictions for tonight's game. Chris, we will start with new additions to each team. So we are looking for Jimmy Butler points and Zach LaVine points. So for Butler, I've got him scoring 20, and Zach LaVine, I've got 26.
Butler 17, LaVine 23.
Okay. You guys can chime in as well if you'd like on the YouTube or the text line. When you're playing the Warriors, you always got to think about 3-pointers. So, Chris, we're looking for Warrior-made threes, Kings-made threes. I'm going to give Golden State 18, Sacramento 14.
Golden State 15, Sacramento 18.
Okay. And then lastly, we're looking for something that we are predicting to happen in this game that's not going to be on the stat sheet per se. It could be. But something you're predicting, something random, something different, something odd. I am going to say we are going to have a dust-up, and it's going to be between Valanciunas and Draymond Green, and we are going to get double technicals.
Yours is very close to mine.
Okay.
There's going to be 3 or more technicals tonight.
3 or more T's. Okay. Anybody specific or just in general?
Draymond.
These are bonus points.
Kerr.
Kerr gets hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll throw
Everyone's hot.
I'll throw in Valanciunas. I think we're both going to be right.
Okay, I like that. I like this. Quantum Leaper says Draymond will get ejected tonight. That could happen. It's happened in that building. Fun. We've seen it. I'm okay with that. Let's get intense. Let's get after it tonight. It is going to be intense. It's going to be a lot of fun. Looking forward to it. We're going to talk more about this coming up here in just a moment. Sacktown Sports Kings Insider Brendan Nunez will be joining us. We're going to get Brendan's perspective on where we are now. Here we are, 55 games in, 27 to go. We'll hit him some of those questions that we asked earlier about how many wins will it take to get into the top 6? How many wins will it take to secure a play-in? And really what Brendan thinks this Kings team can do tonight and going forward. So we'll do that in our final hour. Also, a reminder, Friday Fun and Games, celebrity birthdays, and we'll reset some of the top stories. That's all coming up in our final hour, but Sacktown Sports Insider Brendan Nunez, Kings Insider Brendan Nunez joins us next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
Are you really that different than the rest of us?
We are. As a fiduciary, we always focus on what's best for our clients.
What services do you offer besides investing?
We have a team of specialists in financial planning, estate planning, and more.
Your clients rely on you for all that?
Yes, we ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Okay, but you still sell commission-based products, right?
No, because we believe that's a conflict of interest. We prioritize service over sales goals.
So then how do your fees work?
We have a simple and transparent fee that's a percentage of our clients' portfolios. So we do better when our clients do better.
Wow, we're more different than I thought.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com. Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters. Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock. And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers. 5 to the Southern 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
This is the story of the one who, as a maintenance specialist for a historic high-rise, knows that vintage charm historically needs constant attention. Which is why, when it's time to upgrade turn-of-the-century mechanicals, they turn to Grainger. With easy access to 1 million+ products and the scale to deliver when and where you need them. The right tools and supplies are never far away. So the one can keep that vintage building running like new. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine light on? Take the guesswork out of your check engine light with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan today.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
We could all use more time. Amazon Business offers smart business buying solutions so you can spend more time growing your business and less time doing the admin. I can see why they call it smart. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
Is your garage door stuck in the winter blues? Well, February is the perfect time to give it some love. Jason Ross here to tell you about the Overhead Door Company of Sacramento. And they're here to keep your garage door running smoothly. This February, they're spreading the love with their Sweetheart Special, $150 off a garage door with the purchase of a garage door opener. Now, the experts at Overhead Door Company of Sacramento provide fast, reliable service that's always on time and always done right. From squeaky hinges to full door replacements, they've got you covered. So don't let your garage door be the heartbreaker this season. Visit overheaddoorofsacramento.com for your free estimate. You can get in touch with them at 916-421-3747. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, opening doors to your home and your hearts this February and all throughout the year. Overhead Door Company of Sacramento, the genuine, the original overhead door. Always look for the red ribbon logo.
Power Business Technology is proud to be a 100% independent, locally owned and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer since 2021. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
The Carmichael Dave Show.
He's on the microphone when he's not on the microphone. He's playing a song, and when he's not playing a song, he's on the microphone, and then boom.
With Jason Ross.
No, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
It's the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross on Sacktown Sports.
There's a lot of little things that only a training camp can help, but we smashed it all together and tried to give up as much information as humanly possible, but at the same time keeping it as simplistic as possible.
How many practice sessions did you guys give?
Well, we got the one today. Yesterday we got together, but it was more mental, and it wasn't like what you guys witnessed today.
What's going to be the biggest area of focus before things kind of resume?
Always defense, my friend. But at the same time, you got to smooth out the edges, and the turnovers not good, bad starts not good. A lot of those are coming from trying to do the right thing, and so I'm totally understandable. But the one thing, as you guys know me, is defense. It has to happen. So I don't know how it happens, as Rick Adelman used to say, it's that it happens.
That is Doug Christie from practice yesterday. Kings, Warriors tonight. And really looking forward to this matchup this evening. We're going to be joined hopefully here shortly by Sacktown Sports Kings insider Brendan Nunes on his Friday appearance. And, look, the Kings obviously would have liked to have been in a little bit better of a position than they're in right now. That's the obvious statement. And they don't have the equity that some of these other teams have as far as where the standings are and where they begin play tonight. But this is the bed they're in. They aren't in a terrible position. They aren't in a good position like Memphis, let's say, who could have a 3 or 4 game drought. Basically, when you're looking at these final 27 from the Kings, you got to avoid the streaks of the losing streaks. If you get a winning streak, terrific. But you could honestly probably live off the back of like a 5-game winning streak the rest of the way and then 500, and you're going to be in that mix somewhere. Most of the times, I said earlier, I think that number to be in, secure a playoff position, is probably between 42 and 46 wins. Now, playoff, I say play in, I should say first. Trying to get into that top 6 might be closer to 47, 48. So they're going to have to play at a really good clip to get there. And now the other part about this, really, if you think about the games that they have coming up the rest of the way, like tonight, the importance of it is the double meaning of this game. One, if you win, you beat the Warriors, you win the tiebreaker. The triple meaning, really. Tiebreaker, you give another loss to the Warriors, a team you're competing with. And so when you got these head-to-heads with the Warriors with 2 are left, you still play Dallas once. You're done with Minnesota, but you got 2 with the Clippers. You're done with the Lakers. I'm looking at everybody in the West that you still have to play. You know, every time you could somehow beat them, you pick up a full game, you help yourself out in future tiebreakers, you do some damage on the other teams around the West that are, you know, trying to gain on you. And so here's where you're looking at the Sacramento Kings and saying to yourself, what will it take for them to find that best level that I don't think we've seen enough from this year? But what is it? What is it that's missing to get them there? And if it's strictly the roster / talent, I think there's some of that. But I think with what they have, and Doug said this from the beginning, I think Mike Brown echoed this, even with some of the roster construction flaws, especially to begin the season, it's a little bit better now. There is enough for this team to be a playoff team. There is. I think it's there. I mean, look, it's not the best defensive team in the league. There are some things they're missing. But on a night-to-night basis, when I look at a team like, and I'm not going to compare the Kings to OKC or even to Denver, but what really is the difference between the Kings and a team like, I don't know, Memphis or Houston? Do you look at them and say, oh, well, they're just way better? Are they? And if so, why? I mean, that's okay. You can have that opinion. Record-wise says yes. But I'm talking about when you see them on a night-to-night basis. Part of it, what I think those teams have done, is they've just done their best version of their team more consistently. Now, if you don't do it consistently, maybe you're not that good of a team. That's a fair counterpoint and a pushback. I would accept that. I think that's true. But again, I look at Minnesota, Dallas, the Kings, the Warriors, Memphis, Houston, Lakers, Clippers. I mean, they're all kind of the same to me. They really are. And here's the thing that I have found over the years, when you kind of just observe the league and watch how they play, but you don't watch every game of the other team, you don't see all the warts. Like, oh, well, Memphis is so good because of they've got this player and John Morant and Bane and Jaren Jackson, and they're well coached. And if you watch them every night, you'll find their flaws. But I think what they have done is more times than not, they have reached that level they've reached a higher level of consistency. But like when the Kings have played them head to head, I don't look at that and go, man, Memphis is light years ahead of the Kings. Or the same with Houston. The Lakers beat the Kings all 4 times. It was a different version. It was AD and LeBron. But look, the Kings beat them all 4 times the year before. I didn't look at the Kings as better than the Lakers. I just feel like there's a lot of teams that kind of live in the same general neighborhood. It's just the fine points, I think, is what's separating the Sacramento Kings from a Houston Rockets record, from a Clippers record, from a Memphis Grizzlies record. And, you know, when you go to the high-level teams, the highest level, Denver and OKC, now OKC's got very few flaws and a lot of players playing at a very high level, including SGA playing at an MVP level. And Denver, same kind of thing. They've done more winning. They've got the experience. They've got an incredible home court advantage. And then they've got an unguardable player in Nikola Jokic who plays every night, who's consistently good, and that gives them a chance to win all the time. So when you're looking at that from the Kings' perspective, can they get more of those consistently good moments from their roster? That's it. That's the trick. That's what this team is missing. And if they continue to do this for the final 27 and meander around 500, some good moments and bad moments, then you start to realize, hey, this is who they are. They don't have enough. They can't get more out of this group. And then it becomes more of an off-season front office decision thing to say, you know what? We do have to change things a bit. We do have to try to find whatever gets us to that next level. So that's been the hardest part for this team to try to sort through. And teams like the Suns and the Spurs and the Warriors and the Kings, they're all still trying to figure that out. That's tricky. All right, 1-800-920-1140, 916-339-1140. A rare miss, I think, from Brendan today. You were efforting, I saw multiple times.
Ryan.
Yeah. All right, let's check in on the phone lines here. If you want to get in, you can. Let's check in with our guy, Patrick. Patrick, good morning. How are you?
Hey, what's up, Jason? Long time, man. Huge game tonight, 27 left. This is going to be a battle, man. We got a tough schedule, but this team has way too much talent to not make the playoffs, man. I mean, I know anything can happen, but they're just we have a lot of big-name players on this team, and I just don't understand how. And Doug's going to have us ready, so I'm not even worried about it. It's just the defense I'm kind of worried about, but I think we'll get things in gear, especially tonight, man, at home, so it's going to be nice.
Yeah, Patrick, barring an injury, I'm with you. I think there is enough talent here to be a playoff team. I really do. I don't, that's not looking at it through Kings glasses. I think there's enough here. I'm not talking championship. I'm just talking playoffs. I'm with you on that. I think they got enough.
Oh, man, championship, we're not there yet, but playoffs, we definitely got to make it this year. But we'll see what's up, man. I'll be watching tonight, and you do a great job, Jason, as always, man.
I appreciate that. Thank you, Patrick. Yeah, I know Patrick will be checking in. Patrick's been a long, long time Kings fan. And, you know, and that's also the group I'm hearing and listening for and hoping for and wanting more moments like the Warriors Kings series from 2 years ago. That was great. That was awesome to experience that. And so you want to see more of that. And you just hope you can get that done as quickly as possible if you're the Sacramento Kings. All right. Well, look at this. You never know who's listening. I think we're going to have a special guest join us here in a moment. Chris, I'm going to give you a number. Someone who was checking in and said, look, if Brendan is a DNP, I'm ready when you are. So we'll do this. I'll tell you who that is coming up in our next segment. I appreciate that. We will tease that, and we will have more coming up right here on Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
Fargo, your virtual assistant from Wells Fargo, makes banking faster and easier. Like this.
Fargo, what did I spend on groceries last month?
And this.
Fargo, turn off my debit card.
And this.
Fargo, what's my checking account routing number?
And that's just the beginning. Do you, Fargo? You can in the Wells Fargo mobile app. Learn more at wellsfargo.com/getfargo.
Fargo is only available on the smartphone versions of the Wells Fargo mobile app. Wells Fargo Bank N.A. member FDIC.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now, during our President's Day sales event, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Save thousands with low APR financing and great lease rates on over 500 new Hondas at Stockton Honda.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
The only place in the morning to get your sports fix.
Live and vocal.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Yeah, Carmichael Dave is off today. He's back with us on Monday. It is the sprint to the finish, and what a way to start it out tonight. Kings and Warriors. And tonight, of course, we'll have the game right here on Sacktown Sports with the great G-Man Gary Gerald on the call. But on television, you'll get a chance to see Mark Jones and Katie Christensen. And look at this. He's always ready to push the agenda and go forward here. Mark Jones chiming in. Are you working out, Mark? What's going on?
You guys gave me, I was listening up and I heard about Brendan not being able to go. And I stopped at about mile. I had 2 3/4 miles in the tank on the treadmill. And I figured, you know what, that's good enough.
Nice. Good for you. How was your
talk some Kings?
Yes, let's do it.
Kings basketball.
I appreciate you checking in and always listen. How was your break? What'd you get done during the All-Star break? Get some rest?
Yeah, it was great, guys. I called the Celebrity All-Star game on Friday night and then flew back to Florida, South Florida, and just spent 4.5 days by the pool and stuck my toes in the stand and had some of those fancy umbrella drinks with some dark rum in it. So it was good. And just made a few phone calls, caught up with a couple people around the league, and it was good. It's always a great time to take a little bit of inventory and decompress at the same time. So we're all ready to go.
What I'd love some inventory from you on the Kings. Look, I think they're in an okay spot here, Mark. Obviously, they'd like a few more wins under their belt, but look, tonight you have two similar teams, and the Warriors, they're hungry for wins. Kings are hungry for wins. I really think tonight's matchup there's going to be a lot of good energy and vibes in the building on the importance of tonight's game.
It'll be a great test for Sacramento tonight because, I love what Doug said in being able to tune up the defense, because Golden State's going to be a team that tests us, right? Because they're so versatile. They've added Jimmy Butler to the mix. Big key for us tonight is going to be able to guard that Steph Butler inverted pick and roll that they like to run, that they found a little early success with. So they're going to stress our defense. And I can remember speaking with Doug after the Dallas game before the break, and he basically said, we got to get the back end of our defense to match the front end of our defense. I think he feels that the stuff out front, the point of attack defense with Keon and some other guys at the point of attack is doing pretty well. But if they can get that kind of intensity and coverage on the back end, then I think we're going to be all right. I think if we get our defense into the top 12 to 15 range, like it was a little bit earlier, I think we're hovering around 14, 15 at one point, and we got a legit shot of not just being a play-in team, but grab maybe that nip at that 6 hole.
Yeah, and I think that's the push and pull right now that I'm seeing with this team, Mark, that, look, they've got some really good offensive players. I mean, there's no denying what DeRozan can do. I mean, if you're a bucket getter like him and LaVine, but then some of their better bench players, I think, can round out that defense. So getting the minutes for Keon and LaRavia and Valanciunas while not losing some of that offense, I think is kind of where Doug and the coaching staff are still trying to navigate it. And, more times than not, they've been winning, but they got to find that sweet spot of getting the best of that offense while still finding the best of their defense.
Yeah, because if you look, guys, at our recent games, I mean, we're scoring 140, 135 points and not being guaranteed of a victory. Usually you hit 120 and it's a lock to get a win. But, one thing that I really look forward to is the defense improving. I think it will, especially with JV in there now to add a little bit more rim protection, and the prospect of playing Jonas Valanciunas and Sabonis at the same time and get into some bully ball, right? When the game slows down, you not only have DeRozan, but you can run a little horns action with those two bigs and roll JV to the front of the rim and Sabonis pop out as Monk comes off the screen. Monk hits Sabonis. Sabonis hits JV right in the paint, and we've seen some of that success already. And the next evolution, I think, offensively is going to be you're going to see, I had some conversations with guys on the staff, and Jay Triano is really brilliant. And he and Doug have been able to, I think, collab on developing a little bit more LaVine, DeRozan chemistry. I think that's the next incremental improvement of the offensive end. You might even see some actions that they used with those two in Chicago that were really successful. I'm going to give you the answers to the test here, guys. If you look at the last few games, they've been trying to hit Zach right out of the box, right? The Dallas game, they would have had a lob to Zach for a dunk. Instead, he just caught it for a lay-in on the first play of the game. And the two previous games, they also were looking for him. So, when we get Zach up to a 23, 24 point per game level, defense tightens up, I think the prospects look great for Sacramento moving forward.
Yeah, the way Zach LaVine, Mark, was playing for Chicago was at really an elite level, and it hasn't quite happened yet. We saw a little taste in that last game against New Orleans, but I think sometimes people just don't realize how athletic he is. Man, he brings an element this team just doesn't have.
Yeah. I spoke with one of his former coaches in Chicago and Minnesota recently, and he said the best thing about Zach is that he's very analytical, and he always wants to do the right thing and play the right way. And if that's his stated goal, if he's out there being selfless with his dynamic athletic talent, that's another area of incremental improvement for the Kings. And he can get it in bunches, guys. We started to see that come a little bit before the All-Star break. And I think this team is situated really well offensively. And like I said, with the bench depth that we have now, with the two bigs, it gives us a lot more versatility in being able to bully people as well.
Talk with Mark Jones, Kings television voice, also does national work as well. You see Mark everywhere. Mark, how about the thought on the Warriors? You talked a little bit about the challenge of defending Steph and Jimmy Butler and Draymond. But, look, this is a team that Draymond makes the bold statement that, I think we're going to win the championship. Then he says, no, I lied. We are going to win the championship. This is a team that's done that before. I don't know that they've got the makeup, but they've got that confidence and that swagger. I personally like that for them. What do you think about the Warriors tonight and just kind of them going forward?
I think they've got another 12-3 run in them, like they were the team that they were to start the season, Jason. I really do. Being a South Florida resident, Miami resident, I watched Jimmy Butler up close for 5 years, twice taking the Heat, literally dragging the Heat by himself to the NBA Finals a couple of times, willing his team to the finals. And, the good thing that makes Jimmy a good fit with that team is that he's not a ball stopper. If you look at Jimmy's career historically, there have been times where he's actually been a little bit too deferential. So that makes him a good fit in terms of pass, cut, move. I think if you look at the analytics, you'll see that a lot of his baskets come on cuts to the basket and off of screens. And, he can get some good rim runs from time to time. They're going to be a really tough out for somebody. And tonight's going to be a great test for us in being able to, play in a style defensively that can slow them down a little bit.
Mark, I'm going to ask you something that I don't know if we'll ever see, but I still picture it someday happening. We've got a guy in Draymond that plays with more passion and energy and attitude than anybody out there. And Keegan, who is the opposite. Do you think there's ever a situation where Draymond could actually get under the skin, if it's possible, of Keegan Murray?
Wow, what a scenario. Holy cow, Jason. I never thought about that.
Yeah.
No.
Right? Isn't it impossible?
No. Keegan's lips ain't moving for nobody, man. He's not smiling for anybody.
I know. It's crazy.
Or frowning or getting pissed off. I don't see it. Although if there's one guy that can do it, it's Draymond, whether it be, a chest stomp or an elbow or something to try and frustrate him. But, I don't see it. Keegan is, as long as he listens to his Rod Wave music before games, nothing bothers that young man. He's amazing.
Yeah, I do want to ask you, because I know you're all around the league and you know so many different people. Just look, first and foremost, I'm worried about Victor Wembanyama, the person. I hope everything goes just fine there. But boy, that was scary news yesterday. Just your overall thought on that and really the outlook for him going forward.
Yeah, the first thing was you hope that he's going to be fine in the long run. And I think that people forget that basketball players are such outliers, right? And these blood clot conditions a lot of times tend to happen in tall people, to make the generalization. It happened to Brandon Ingram. I saw it happen to Chris Bosh. It costed him his career. Ingram actually came back from it back in 2019. So, and there have been some other guys, Asar Thompson with Detroit. I pray that he's going to be okay, that, that there's a great prescription or balance of medicines that can keep it at bay. Because from what I know, blood thinners, which are used in being able to take care of blood clotting, that and sports are not a good mix. And that's why you got to shut it down, because your blood gets thinned out so much. My father was on a blood thinner for a while, Coumadin, and you couldn't even brush up against him for fear of, internal bleeding, and your blood doesn't clot when you're on those thinners. So, I'm sure that the Spurs have the best medical experts to try and remedy that. We need Victor back. He's such a young, engaging man. Have you seen him in Court of Gold, in that documentary on Netflix?
No, I haven't watched that yet. Is he great?
Oh, you got to see that. It's great. It's fantastic. Yeah. But as one of the faces of the league moving forward, we need him back on the court, and more importantly, in great health.
Well, yeah, especially what we saw from, he looked like he was all in on the All-Star game. I know he was certainly in the Olympics, and I want to watch that documentary. But yeah, the competitiveness, the greatness that he has too, that's. Yeah, you're right. We do need Victor Wembanyama back on the floor.
The guy wants to start an NBA chess league. I mean, how amazing is that? Come on.
Still reading the books before every game too. My goodness.
I know.
Well, Mark, we appreciate you hopping on. Enjoy the rest of the workout if you can finish that up, and certainly we'll see you out at the arena tonight.
I'll see you at the gym tonight, guys. Take care.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Great work.
Yeah, thank you. That is Mark Jones checking in. That was awesome of him. He was listening on the show. We appreciate that. And he's like, look, Brendan's not there. I got you. And I appreciate that. That's really very cool of him.
I don't know what's cooler, Mark Jones calling in or Mark Jones listening to us.
Both. I just thought that was awesome. That was great. And I've always appreciated Mark. Keep up the great work. He'll be on the call tonight. We'll see him out there. And he's right. Look, I think both teams still have a chance to really find their groove. The Warriors showed that they could do it. The Kings had that best stretch right after Doug Christie was introduced. They lost the first game, then won, 7 in a row, and really showed their ability. So that's what they're trying to find, that competitiveness, that they're the best version of themselves, and to do it as consistently as possible. Again, our thanks to our guest, Mark Jones there. We will break here. When we come back, we still have 2 segments to go, and we'll hand things over to Alan Stiles. Still to come, what to watch tonight besides the Warriors and Kings. There are some of the games to keep track of in the Western Conference playoff race, and another edition of Celebrity Birthdays brought to you by our friends at Crumble Cookies, and we'll wrap things up a little fun on Friday. Friday, fun and games. That's all to conclude today's show, as we've got that coming up next.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sacktown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for 3, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey, Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sacktown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave coming to you from a good friends at American Energy. Look, it's already cold outside. It's only going to get colder. American Energy wants to help you stay warm and make sure your system is operating safely. So right now is the time to take advantage of the $49 tune-up inspection. Normally $119, $49 right now, and that includes a full safety and duct inspection. And check it out. If your system's over 10 years old, and I'll bet it is, the tune-up, it's free. It's free from a company that's been in business since 1981, serving the greater Sacramento area. A+ Better Business Bureau. Check their Yelp, check their Google reviews. Don't take my word for it. Give them a call right now. $50 off your first recommended repair. If you need a new furnace, half off the price of a new unit. Check them out at theaeway.com and tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Call 916-520-9998 now.
Hey, Ma, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online.
Uh-huh.
I read that Black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer. ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals, formerly called the Humane Society of the United States. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 16, powered by Intel Core Ultra processors and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
There's nothing quite as serene and beautiful as our Sacramento rivers. It's something we can all take pride in. But just one piece of litter can ruin the picture. I'm Alan Stiles from Sacktown Sports. Let's work together to keep our community beautiful and make Sacramento litter-free. Clean rivers don't just mean beauty. They mean healthy fish, safe swimming, and a vibrant ecosystem. So remember, be river-friendly. Every little action makes a huge impact. Visit BeRiverFriendly.net now to be a part of the difference.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
The huge President's Day sale is on at Maida Chevy, Sacramento's Silverado headquarters.
Save $10,250 off MSRP after rebates on new half-ton Silverado LT after rebates with over 50 in stock.
And Maida Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area.
$10,250 off new 2025 Silverado at Maida Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
I'm George Washington, and I approved this message. Not available with special financing, leasing, some other offers. 5 to the South, must own 2011 or newer Chevrolet.
Carmichael Dave.
He's had very good sources, and he just kind of tells it as it is and gets to the point.
Jason Ross.
He has a lot of pretty smart things to say.
He's good at what he does.
On Sacktown Sports.
Thank you again to Mark Jones, our impromptu guest. We've had Mark before many times, but I mean, this was Mark was ready. He was ready to go, and I really appreciate that. He had his few days of rest. He's ready for the NBA grind again. Love that. And thank you for him checking in. Anything you ever miss on the show, feel free to go back to Sacktown Sports, our YouTube page. Like and subscribe when you're there.
Killer Kings Rewind today.
And a killer. And I do mean Killer Kings Rewind if we don't pat ourselves on the back for that. You can go back and listen to that. Enjoy that. Like Campeo, that's one of his favorite segments. We appreciate that.
No, my problem with Campeo is?
What's that?
Fragile ego, fragile body, weak mind, weak spirit.
No, I'm just messing.
Special shout out right there.
He got his yin yang song back in there.
That's right. Where else was this one? Someone's talking about the documentary Mark was talking about. It's a great documentary. I watch an episode a night. Trey Lyles was on Team Canada, coached by Jordy Fernandez. I thought you guys were sports dudes. Watch the doc.
Sports dudes.
Just a couple of sports dudes.
I might have been rewatching the Vince McMahon documentary last night.
I might have rewatched the SNL 50-year anniversary show. But yes, I will get to it. We have time. There's time. The Sports Dudes. Do you even remember that show? That was the first show I was ever on.
No.
Me and it was before your time. It was in the 1900s.
The 20th century?
Yeah. Rest in peace with Matt Ivy, my former partner on the weekends. Yep.
Sports with dudes.
Yes. Let's get some shows. Let's spread this around. Let's get some shows. But again, thank you to Mark Jones for joining us. Good breakdown of what we can expect for tonight. So, what to watch tonight? Of course, Kings basketball. You want to hear it here, or watch it, or go to the game. Better yet, get a chance to go. Nothing quite like being at the game. I mean, I love it. I still love that experience. I don't get tired of it. I say that all the time to Dave. And there's many different ways you can watch through the TV. You can listen on the radio. People follow on social media. People have second screens, whatever you do. But I'm telling you, the people that go to the game, some of them, it's their first game or their regulars. It's just there's such a good energy in that building. I love it. I love being in attendance for the games. And the home crowd, that energy. You know it. When Fresh gets the crowd going, when Moke gets the crowd going, when the team gets the crowd going, and tonight there will be Warrior fans there, and they will have big plays and big moments, and it sounds different when Steph hits a three, and the whole place goes, oh. But that's good, because then the Kings get riled up when Keegan then hits one, or the Murray chants get louder, or the Sabonis song lands better. Love it. Love it. Love all of that. So what to watch? Obviously, that's first and foremost on your mind tonight. There was a good game in the Eastern Conference with the New York Knicks. The Knicks at the Cavaliers. That's two of the best in the East battling. Some other games to monitor tonight. The Grizzlies, also still on the East Coast, playing the Magic. Memphis losing last night. The Spurs in a back-to-back. So they got the win yesterday. Kings fans, you're probably not rooting for them to get a win today. They host the Pistons. The Pelicans, who, I think, obviously the Kings beat them 3 out of 4 times. They would have liked a 4-0 sweep, but the Pelicans can play that role of spoiler. The Kings are hoping they do that tonight because they're in Dallas against the Mavericks. The Timberwolves at the Rockets. I think in this one, as a Kings fan, you root for the Rockets because they are higher up, kind of keep the Timberwolves closer to you. And then the Thunder at the Jazz. I don't think the Jazz win that one. That's not a bold pick, but that's what's that's some of your other games to watch tonight. Chris, did we get any word from Kyle and or Alan? Are they going to participate, or is it a one-man show?
Kyle said he would be here in a minute.
Oh, I hear him storming through.
Oh, that must be him.
There's the heavy footprints and steps of Kyle Ledbetter. He's ready to challenge you for another. We don't have a great edition, but we got an edition.
Unfortunately for Kyle, it's all 90s movies.
Yes, it is.
Oh, my wheelhouse.
All right, so let's do it. Time for some celebrity birthdays. As birthdays are meant to be spent with family and friends, and nothing brings family and friends together better. Together better than crumble cookies over there, right there. We will start with a movie, and Kyle will have you go first on this one.
Yay.
On this date, in what year did the legendary movie starring Will Ferrell, Vince Vaughn, do you know who it is yet? What movie it is yet?
It's not Dodgeball,
Luke
is it? Luke Wilson.
Anchorman.
Nope.
Not that one.
Old School. The movie Old School. And what year did that premiere on this date?
I have not seen that one. Surprise, surprise. I will go year I was born, 2001.
I believe it is 2005.
Ooh, we have a tie. 2003.
Really?
Yeah.
Look at us knowing movies.
I know. Chris was surprisingly off.
Well, I said 90s movies, not 2000s
I know, but
movies.
you always get these like with either right on or 1 year. You're off by 2. That's a lot for you. Happy birthday today to Jennifer
Lawrence?
Love Hewitt.
Love Hewitt.
Yeah.
Is correct.
I'm a JLH guy.
JLH. How old?
Can't hardly wait.
Jennifer Love Hewitt.
1998. She is.
Know what you did last summer.
44, that episode of Boy Meets World.
44?
44. No. 47.
I go big 5-0, 50.
Jesus.
Chris is
You better
closer.
not be right.
46 for JLH. Happy birthday to Jordan.
Love Hewitt.
Jordan Peele.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
You don't know who that is?
Wow, Jason.
What?
I got you. That's a movie
That's
that
the
he
movie
made.
that he made.
Oh, you did get me.
Us.
Yes. Look at us.
Who would have thought? Keanu.
Jordan Peele.
Jordan Peele is...
Was Nope any good? I didn't see that.
Oh, all of his movies have been good.
Really? I didn't hear Nope was as good.
Nope was really good.
Really? Okay. I'll go back to that one.
That one I actually watched in the theaters.
Okay, so take that with a grain of salt. 45.
47.
We have a tie. He's 46 today. Good work, guys. Happy birthday to Kelsey Grammer. Once attended a Kings game at Arco, courtside. Very odd appearance.
He's also the voice of Sideshow Bob.
He is also Fraser Crane.
Kelsey Grammer he's down Periscope. My favorite Kelsey Grammer movie.
I definitely know who all those people are.
Okay.
He is 73.
If you hadn't said that, I would have guessed way younger. 60.
Kelsey Grammer is turning 70 today.
Oh.
Yeah. How about this one? Happy birthday, Paul.
Rudd.
Giamatti.
Newman.
Let's see how far it takes us together. Paul
Pierce.
Westhead.
Paul Westhead.
Basketball coach.
Yes.
Is he the one who fell off the bike?
No, I think that's George McKinney.
Okay.
I believe. Paul Westhead, though, did coach the Lakers. That first group that won a title in 80, I believe, and then LMU. And
I think Jason Segel played him.
Guru of
in the
Go.
show.
Oh, so he was the one who replaced the guy who fell off the bike.
Yes. If I remember correctly.
He is 74.
76.
Kyle gets a win. He is 86.
Whoa.
Yeah. Happy birthday to Steve
Martin.
Carell.
Francis. Stevie Franchise.
He is...
Former number 2 pick, I believe.
Okay, I was in high school with the dunk contest.
96 draft class?
Sounds about right.
He is 48.
49.
We have a correct answer, and it goes to Christopher Laud, 48. Good work, guys. And happy birthday to former Sacramento King, friend of the show, used to have a regular appearance on
Doug
the
Christie.
station, Dante Green.
Oh. I can't remember if I'm older than him or if he's older than me.
I'll go 41.
39.
Chris for the win. Dante Green is celebrating his 37th birthday today.
Wow.
So you are older than me.
Thank you.
Than Dante Green. Good work, guys. All right, but we are not done because we have one last segment. We'll bring in Alan Stiles. We'll have Friday fun and games coming your way to wrap up the show next.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sacktown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sacktown Sports app.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com, and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Sinking? Whether it's your driveway, sidewalk, or patio, those uneven surfaces are not just ugly, they're dangerous. That's where Groundworks comes in. They use state-of-the-art concrete lifting solutions to prevent tripping hazards, and they're the best at what they do. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Cheer on the Sacramento Kings in the stretch run of the season. Now through February 21st, enjoy no fees on Kings tickets for all upcoming games, including matchups against the Warriors, Spurs, Cavaliers, and Celtics. That's right, no fees, just savings. Catch the Beam Team with new addition, two-time All-Star Zach LaVine and experience the thrill of Kings basketball at Golden One Center. Seats are going fast. Don't wait to get your tickets with no fees. Visit kings.com/no fees to grab your tickets today.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hello, I'm Frank Hoff with Retirement Security Center for the weekly economic update. Based on the recently released Federal Reserve meeting minutes, the Federal Reserve is holding rates steady for now and unanimously agreeing to keep rates unchanged after their 3 rate cuts in 2024. The reasoning, inflation isn't coming down fast enough. The new potential tariffs from the Trump administration could make these goals even harder to achieve. While Fed policy is less restrictive, officials want more proof that inflation is under control before lowering borrowing costs further. They are keeping a close eye on the economy, labor market, and especially price pressures before making their next move. 60% of a majority of economists don't see the first rate cut in 2025 occurring until March. Interest rate futures are pricing in only 1 rate cut in 2025. For now, borrowing costs remain unchanged, but with the shifting policies, potential tariffs, and economic uncertainty, all eyes are on Washington and their Federal Reserve's next moves. How might this affect you or your family? Please go to frankontheradio.com to schedule an appointment, watch videos, and receive market updates. I'm ready to help you start your journey so you can define your future.
Securities and investment advisory services offered through Osaic FA Incorporated, member FINRA SIPC. Osaic FA is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Osaic Wealth.
Sacramento's premier country music festival, Country in the Park, is coming back May 16th and 17th at Cal Expo with Bailey Zimmerman, Billy Currington, Cole Wetzel, Nate Smith, and more. You'll enjoy food trucks, rock walls, and a mechanical bull, line dancing, and more. Single-day GA tickets start at $52 at CITPFest.com. Country in the Park, May 16th and 17th with the California Army National Guard. Find out more at CITPFest.com.
We have finally made it to Friday.
Let's end your week the right way with Friday Fun and Games
on the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
All right, it is time for Friday Fun and Games. We're going to get to that in a moment. Alan Stiles in studio, ready to go. You got a big show. You're going to be all over Sacramento today, aren't you?
That's right. We are going to be at Doco starting at 12.
Okay, big day.
So yeah, that's going to be right around when shoot around ends. So yeah, if anybody is in the area, works in the area, come by, say hello. We're going to be stopping some media members as they walk out of shoot around. We don't even know who's going to hop on. I sent out some texts yesterday, and we're going to have some in-house guests with Brendan and Frankie. Frankie's back.
Yeah.
Frankie is back. So we have some in-house guests. Whitey might hop on, and then we will have some of your favorite Sacramento media members as well. So it's going to be quite the show, a little half and half action, like the milk.
Yes, exactly. Well, I'm glad we had a surprise guest today, too. Mark Jones called in, so that was great.
Oh.
Yeah, he's ready for the call tonight. A lot of people are excited for tonight's game.
Is today, I know they do this a lot with Warriors Kings, but is today national or no?
I don't think today is.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
Local here.
Well, it should be.
Yeah,
it should be.
It's a big game.
Do you feel good about it?
I'm nervous. I just feel good about the opportunity, but I think it's gonna be a great vibe. Good,
great way to put it.
Good energy in the building.
Oh, it's gonna be outstanding. Media deal. It's gonna be great.
Oh yeah, you're calling your shot.
That's right. All right, we gotta go.
All right. Well, that was the energy music.
Oh yeah.
All right.
You got excited there for a second, didn't you?
Nick wants to know who's starting tonight. Let's go with Sabonis, Murray.
Yeah.
LaVine, DeRozan, Monk.
Mm-hmm.
Coach Christie just called. Let me know.
For now.
For now.
For now.
Maybe Alan knows something.
Net ratings say otherwise.
That's why you got to listen.
That's right.
All right. Let's do some Friday Fun and Games. Chris, you got some music for us? I love this music. Gets me in the mood. Gonna be a simple game. We've played this before. It's the name game.
Okay.
Alan, I'm going to give you the first name. We're going to go Alan into Chris into Kyle and see how long we keep the cycle going.
Okay.
And we basically, we'll all be our own judges here. You got to keep the game going. Try to keep a sports figure's name going.
That's got to be a sports figure?
Trying. Come on. You know your sports. So you could go off the first name or the last name. And if it's Jim and you want to do Jimmy, we'll probably bend the rules.
All right.
Since he called in as a guest, and I think it's an easy name to start with, we appreciate Mark Jones. So that is where we are going to start our name game. So, Alan, you either have to come up with a Mark or a Jones to keep the game going?
The best Laker that never was, Mark Williams.
Mark Williams. That keeps it nice and easy for you, Christopher Laud. Mark Williams.
Ted Williams.
Ted Williams. Kyle, keep the game going with Ted Williams.
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams, and that could be a variety of Jason Williams. We go to round 2. Alan?
Sorry, it's the first name that came to me. Jason Varitek.
Ooh.
I don't know.
So, Chris,
why.
I know you're going to play off Varitek.
Definitely
Jason
Varitek.
Varitek.
I am going to say Jason Tatum. Oh, crap. I kept it in Boston.
That's
Tatum.
right.
Jason? Kyle?
We'll go Jason Bay.
Jason Bay. Former Pirate, I think?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think also a Met.
Met, maybe?
My buddy just met this guy. It's not really going to help to move it off, but Jason Hayward.
Jason Hayward. Wow, I did not know we'd have this many Jasons, but I appreciate it. Chris?
See if we can keep it going.
There are Haywards.
Yeah. I have one that I don't know would count for Hayward.
Billy Haywood.
Haywood?
Oh.
No.
Jason. Just take it.
You want a Kyle, can you go?
Well, how about Cameron Hayward?
Okay.
The Steelers.
Cameron Hayward.
I had Jason Giambi, so
Well,
it's right there.
yeah.
So what is it now?
Cameron Hayward.
Hey, the best King that might still be, but hasn't been yet. Cam Johnson.
Cam Johnson. Okay, that is acceptable. Chris, we're going to get you back in. Cam Johnson.
Michael Johnson.
Okay.
The gold chain.
Yep, and shoes.
Go with the easy one. Josh Johnson.
Josh Jacobs.
Okay.
Josh Jacobs, Jingleheimer Schmidt. Josh Allen.
Josh Allen. There you go. MVP. How about you, Kyle?
There's got to be some Allens in here somewhere. Professional athlete? I don't think so.
Hey, come on. The hit doctor.
That's right.
So we're on Josh Allen.
I guess you played semi-pro, right?
That's right.
I guess Allen Styles technically works then.
Or Josh.
Or Josh. How about Josh Reddick?
Okay.
There were, what did he say? There were 7 mistakes made in front of me, Josh Rosen.
Oh, man.
I think it was 10.
Yes.
That is the quarterback I have most wrong on in my life.
Really?
Oh, my gosh.
You thought he was a guy.
And not
UCLA.
just because I was UC. I mean, I watched every snap. I go, he is going to be the best pro. There's no doubt in my mind. I would have been fired as a GM.
I think he's an MBA student at one of those Ivy Leagues now.
Good. Good for
He's
him.
a mess. Josh Rosen, Chris.
I said Josh Allen.
You did. There's been a lot of Joshes and Jasons.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Jacobs.
I said that.
Pass.
All right, Kyle, can you keep it going?
How about Josh Norman?
Why am I blanking on Josh Norman?
Cornerback for the Panthers.
Okay,
Yeah,
right. That's
dummy.
right.
I'll get us out of the Joshes. Hey, if it wasn't for LeBron, this guy would have been an all-star. Norman Powell.
Norman Powell. Okay, Chris, you're back in after 2 passes.
Norman Smiley.
Who's that?
Professional wrestler.
Glad I'm not next.
We'll accept it.
There's got to be a Smiley in here somewhere.
There is.
Can you help me with it, Jason?
Yeah. Baseball player, pitcher, I believe, John Smiley.
John Smiley
and
was
we'll
a
get to
pitcher.
John.
I love that.
Okay.
Let's see if we can keep Smileys going.
We're not.
John, though.
John Smoltz.
Okay, back to pitchers. Chris.
John Cena.
Nice.
See, I'm just going to go to wrestlers now.
Kyle.
John
Yeah.
John Johnson.
Back to Johnson.
Did someone say Josh Johnson?
He said
already?
Josh Johnson, but we're on John Johnson.
Okay.
You're not stumped on John.
No, it's just there's been a lot of action going on here. Randy Johnson.
Okay.
Randy Orton.
Kyle Orton.
Kyle Orton. Okay.
Kyle. Mm-hmm.
There's so many of them.
Oh, Kyle Kuzma.
Kuzma.
Big
Kyle-
$3.
Kyle O'Reilly.
Who's that?
Wrestler.
Okay. I believe it. I don't know. Couldn't prove it otherwise.
Let's see. There's got to be a lot of Kyles.
There are.
Kyle Hendricks.
Okay.
I'm thinking of the Kyle. He was on the Astros. He doesn't wear batting gloves.
If you want a Hendricks, there's that guy on the Jazz whose leg exploded.
Kyle Tucker.
We better all say him before he gets mad at us, Kyle Draper.
Well, we're doing professional athletes.
I thought we were doing
just having to do with sports.
If Allen didn't get in.
Yeah, Alan Styles
then Draper's not getting in.
What was the last name?
Kyle Tucker.
Josh Tucker. Ooh. Sorry.
Wait, who's that?
The kicker?
No, it's
no.
Not. Why am I not playing? It's not Josh.
Jake Tucker.
No.
James Tucker.
We're just all blanked on the Ravens kicker.
Justin Tucker.
Justin Tucker.
Thank you.
Yeah, that
went
went
in the game.
south
fast, didn't it, for him?
The crazy thing was all the old tweets coming out like, oh man, Justin Tucker does this.
I'm wondering if he knew something was coming and that's why remember because he started missing throughout the season just randomly. I wonder if in his mind he knew this thing's over anyway.
Let's just miss and get out of here. Oh my goodness. Well, we got an exciting show coming your way. So you got split shift, half here, half at
split
GoCo.
shift. I gotta hop in the Jeep. I gotta whip on over. I gotta park.
Are you then staying for the duration?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think I need to go home
and come back and regroup.
Yeah, and complain to Jose for gas money.
Oh, well, do that. Please do that. All right, that's it for us. Thanks again to Mark Jones for checking in. For Chris, I'm Jason. We have got Alan Styles coming your way next.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Keegan going through.